Welcome here to NorCal Sports TV. I'm Dustin Padgett here with Keith Joganatis. We're here in beautiful Elk Grove, California at Sheldon Pleasant Grove Community Stadium. Non-conference matchup tonight here. It's going to be Sheldon versus Turlock. Keith, tell us a little bit about what you expect here from these two teams coming out tonight.
Well, Dustin, we got two 2-1 teams that really, their season has gone the same route. For Turlock, obviously, they lost to Freedom in week 1, 42-35. They come back and beat both Reno and Tracy on back-to-back weeks at home, 47-21 to Reno, and then 28-17 to Tracy. Now they're on the road against Sheldon High School here at Sheldon Pleasant Grove Community Stadium. So now the pressure is all on the home team, the Sheldon Huskies, who have had a revitalization with their football program. Head coach Joe Catalco, obviously coming from Pleasant Grove, brings a football background with him that is illustrious. He won numerous things, accolades at Pleasant Grove. His father is an assistant coach with the program, so it's a family thing. They had high expectations this year as well going into the season, Dustin. They were a top 10 team in the SAC-B polls, ran by Joe Davidson. They got blown out in week 1 against Monterey Trails, a really good team that's also in their same league, the Delta. And they come back in week 2, and they actually have a really good 40-39 victory on the road against, I want to say, as I can look down the schedule here, but a great 40-39 win in week 2, which really could have been doomsday for their season against Burbank. And they really did a good job responding there and eking out a win there. They come back the next week and destroy Kennedy High School on the road 48-6. So you have two teams that didn't get off to the best start in week 1, but now what they have in week 2 and week 3 is 2 wins, so you're over 500. If you lose tonight, it's not the end of the world because you're still at 500, but you'd like to get another win, go to 3-1. Whoever wins this game, Dustin, rest assured, they're going to be riding a local wave here going into weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, definitely, Keith. You know, heading into league play very soon, it's a very important game for both teams. You know, typically in a non-conference game, sometimes it can be hard to get up emotionally, you know, especially right before league is starting. But this is a very big game for both teams. They don't want to go into the league play at 500 at 2-2. Neither of these teams feel like they're a 500 team. Turlock has won the CCAL 2 years in a row. Last year they were 10-2 or 8-2 overall. Their two their freshman and JV teams were both undefeated last year. So you imagine some of those freshmen and JV players are now playing on the varsity. Being as they were undefeated last year, you know, they're going to have a good squad And we're actually going to take a quick pause here for our national anthem and get ready for our opening kickoff here on NorCal Sports TV. Welcome back here. This is the national anthem wrapping up, and as we were mentioning, Keith, both 2-1 coming into this game tonight, both coming off a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Both of these teams looking to progress. However, as you said, Sheldon was ranked 5th coming into this season. Obviously, after week 1, that dropped considerably. Do you think they have an opportunity moving forward to get that ranking back before the season ends?
I do. I think for Sheldon High School, we talked about it earlier. The last 2 years, before those 2 years, Sheldon High School, great basketball program, obviously under head coach Joey Rollins and things of that nature. When it came to football, they always struggled. The opening up of Pleasant Grove really had a bad effect on Sheldon High School because all those athletes that were supposed to come to Sheldon High School, all those athletes that they were supposed to bring in to do the same thing in the football program, they went to Pleasant Grove, and with them, they went under the tutelage of head coach Joe Calico, who is a really great football mind in the area. And for Sheldon High School to wake up, have a realization that we need to take a reflection in our football program, what are we going to do in the future, and then they go out and they do the most unexpected thing ever in the history of maybe the Pleasant Grove Sheldon High School rivalry. They steal Coach Cat from Pleasant Grove. They make him a part of their program, and you talked about it. 2 years ago, 8 wins. Last year, it was 9-3. They went 6-1 in the Delta League and exited in round 2 of those playoffs last year. So this year, they think they've got a team, and with quarterback Francisco Salinas, who almost threw for 2,000 yards, they think they have a team that can get in it. Obviously, Turlock, you talked about, they're in it every year. Their program is illustrious. James Peterson did a great job. So we're going to have 2 teams tonight that really have had success recently and want to have more success going forward. A win tonight for either would sure do that.
Well, Keith, we're getting ready for our opening kickoff here under the lights. Should be a great game. Here's a short kick, fielded here at the 10-yard line. It's going to take it here up past the 20. Not going to get too far. It's going to get swarmed immediately around the 22-yard line. And they will be getting their first job on offense here, will the Sheldon Huskies. As you mentioned, quarterback by Salinas. See what he could do, see what they come out here with the early going, see if they like to pound the rock or if they go downfield.
Francisco Salinas, 5'11", 170 pounds. He is, what he doesn't have in his size, he makes up for with his arm. He is not afraid to throw the deep ball. And this offense obviously going to be a lot of RPOs, run pass options for the boys back home. But no doubt Salinas had a great career at Sheldon, looking to continue that.
First play here is going to be a handoff up the middle. He's going to break a few tackles. He's going to squirt down the sideline for a first down. Give him about 17 yards there. Tyrell Smith with the carry. Now that play looked like just a little handoff up the middle. Might have been just a few yards, but as you can see, he works his way through the hole and gets by a couple tackles right there. And as soon as he gets by, he was able to use his speed down the sideline. That's more about 18, 19-yard game there, Keith, on first down.
I told you, D, Sheldon's offense, they like to do a lot of misdirection. They'll set up with 2 backers in the backfield and really try to confuse the defense. They're going to line up in an I formation here.
Salinas back to pass. A little bit long there. just past his receiver's grasp. It's going to be incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10 there. That was Dylan Hunil, 5'8" senior.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both, D, because I think Salinas, if he had to have that one back, he would have put it a little lower. Obviously, you got to have a little loft on that ball because you're not trying to fire it in there from such a short distance. You want to have a little touch on that, and he did a good job there. Hunil reached out for one hand, probably would have wanted to have two hands to try to mitt that in.
Right, I think they could have gotten a few yards out of that play. Let's see if they go back to the ground attack here like they did on the first play. They will. Going to go to the right side. Not much of a hole there, though. Good job by the defensive front. Going to be about a 2-yard gain there for Smith. Very good job for the defensive end there to be able to get that tackle.
Tyrell Smith, 175 pounds, another senior, will also be a linebacker on the field when called upon and when playing. He really has the ability to, once he gets into that second level of the defense, third level, he can really turn on the burners, put in an extra gear, and really walk away. So it's going to be really key for Turlock to stop him on that first wave of the defense.
There's Jaden Jackson with the tackle there. 3rd and long, going to be a pass out to the left side. He breaks the tackle, gets down the sideline for the first down, and a lot more. Excellent play there to break the tackle. That's 2 big broken tackles we've seen, and the yards after the catch there give him about 15, as we see on the replay there, Keith.
Mike Graves, D-Patch, is 6'2". He's also 175 pounds. You can't take him with one arm. You've got to get both hands on it. So the defensive back for Turlock, that's bad fundamentals. You got to get both hands on it. And Mike Graves, a little, shimmy shake, and off to the races he goes.
First down play, going to be another run here up the middle. Nice run on first down. Give him about 5.5 there. It's exactly what you want to see on first down. Back to that last play from Graves. Exactly as you mentioned, the defensive back there could have had this drive stopped, Keith. It was a 3rd and 8, and that was only about a 3 or 4 yard out route there. It really could have been a 4th down and a punting situation there.
Yeah, and now you're starting to see, Padge, what Sheldon wants to do. They're going to control the flats, but they're also going to let Tyrell Smith go to work in between the tackles. So it's going to be a good pass combination here as Smith goes nowhere in the backfield.
2nd and 2, they're going to get no gain there. Excellent tackle on that one from Jacob Maciel.
But Sheldon knows what they want to do. They want to control the corners, and they want to go up the middle. They're not going to, dink and dunk down the field. They know that Salinas Turlock has the power to beat them with his arm, so they're going to want to keep those safeties at bay, and probably that cover 2 formation they like to use, but they don't want Salinas beating them deep.
They gave him a yard on that, actually, so it's 3rd and 1. Are they going to get the first down? He bounces out to the outside, and he could take this to the house, and he does! Strolls into the end zone for the touchdown. What a run on 3rd down and 1. Keith bounces to the outside, breaks off the tackle into the end zone.
Tyrell Smith, we talked about it. His motor is one of the best on the Sheldon Huskies football team. And what you're going to see on this replay is that Smith does a great job. He keeps his feet moving. Watch, moving. Bam! Outside he goes to the left side. And by that time, he's got no one on that outside to cover and pass protection down the middle. Smith scores 6-0, pen to the extra PAT for Sheldon.
Extra point coming here. Up and good. 7-0. We got a replay coming here for you of this play yet again, as Keith was just mentioning. It could have been stuffed right there at the point on 3rd and 1, but as soon as he gets outside, he gets that last 20 yards with the sprint to the house there. Shows his speed, able to outrun the cornerback. Actually, as soon as he got to the outside, Keith, there was really not much of a play to be made.
No, it's part good improvisation by Tyrell Smith, and it's another part of great offensive line blocking. You'll notice in that replay that the offensive line did a great job of moving the defensive line back. What that resulted in was, if you're in the middle here, and all my weight's going towards the middle, I have no leverage to get Tyrell Smith on the outside. I'm going to have to backpedal and run backwards, and there were so many guys in there. It's such a cluster that you can't see Tyrell Smith, who was only 5'10", but his speed, his ability to run around and hook it to the left side really made the definition of that play, because he was able to misdirection and get around guys. Great job by Tyrell Smith. And as we talked about earlier, Sheldon High School, they want to score points. They want to get points on the board. And so right there was an excellent job for them to start things off. 7-0, Coach Cat's got to like it.
2 minutes, 21 seconds into the game. A 78-yard drive there. Under 10 plays for sure. Very quick drive there for Sheldon to get into the end zone. Let's see if the Bulldogs can match them. Looking at their last couple weeks here, both of these teams are used to high-scoring games. I kind of felt that way coming in. So 1 touchdown, Keith, isn't going to be the end of this one. Kickoff here. He's going to break it to the outside. And that is going to be an excellent kickoff return. Couldn't ask for better field position. They're actually in plus side of the field here. So the kickoff was short on both ends. We've seen a couple of short kicks. That didn't even hit the 15-yard line. And because of the short kickoff, the coverage was not able to get down there and defend it in time. Keith, and look at that. They're on the 49-yard line on positive side of the field.
Darian White, number 17, Padge. It doesn't really have a set position on the field, but the coaching staff and Coach Peterson, they just want to use him to do something. When you've got athletes like that, you don't need to call him a defensive back or a running back. You can just play him anywhere. Special teams is perfect for that.
First down play going to be a run to the outside. Give him about 2-3 yards there. Good pursuit there for the defense.
Now this is going to be the telltale sign for Sheldon all night because they've struggled so far in the season defending their side of the football field. And you can score as many points as you want, Padge. If you're not able to defend, you've got no shot to win any game. So Sheldon, they know that Coach Cadden in the pregame, he talked about, we got to keep them from scoring. And then once we have these leads, like we do right now, 7-0, we got to do a better job of keeping that lead and sustaining it.
Yeah, they definitely need to buckle down on defense. I feel like the team who plays the best defense tonight is going to come out on top. They both can score. We've seen that on the second down play. They're going to be a run up the middle. Nothing doing there. That's Miguel Pena on the run. 2 plays in a row, 2 runs, not much gain there, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long here. And this could be a huge early momentum boost here for Sheldon. They're already up 7-0, and if they could get a 3 and out here, Keith, that would give them the momentum.
It's Magina under center, the quarterback. He is a Swiss Army knife for this team. Quarterback, wide receiver, and defensive back. They put him anywhere, so he can move. Sheldon's got to get sustained in the pocket.
He rolls out, finds his wide receiver, was wide open, and it goes through his hands. That was Miguel Pena there, who also is a running back / wide receiver. You saw him on the prior carry. Really with a drop there, Keith, on a 3rd and 8. That was just about at the sticks. Could have been for the first down, as you see on the replay here.
This is going to be a play, Dustin, that if Turlock were to fall tonight, which we're not saying they are, but if they were to fall, they'll look back and they'll regret because they did what they had to do. They got Magina out in the open field. They bootleg him to the right. Sheldon was caught off guard. What you have is Pena come on the right side, so they're both going towards the same side of the field. So that's good. You got that going. But Magina just puts it a little bit behind him, and Pena is moving at 100 miles an hour. He can't reach back and make that in time because the leverage and the ball is just right behind him. But the play was right. That was the right play that you need there for Turlock.
Bad snap on the punt. Magina handles it, gets a good punt off, bounces down to the 10. Fields only takes it back to the 18-yard line. So Magina, as we were just mentioning, not only is he listed as a quarterback, a wide receiver, and a cornerback, but he also tag teams as a punter, Keith.
Yeah, and so what Turlock's going to have to do now is it's important that they make a good defensive stand here. If you're giving up a field goal, that's fine. It's still 10-0, but you don't want to be looking down the barrel of 14-0. For Sheldon, that first drive that they had was really, really good. They did everything that Coach Cap probably says, that's what we want to do every single time. They went down the middle with Tyrell Smith about 5 or 6 times, and they worked the corners and the flat routes really good. Now, let's see if they take a shot downfield, because you got Mike Graves, number 2. He is 6'2". He's one of the tallest players in the team. I would take a shot to him on a play-action fake here, maybe try something, because Salinas does have the arm to throw it downfield and really bust this thing wide open.
As you just saw there, they had offsetting penalties, and see, at the high school level, that's where you always get thrown off a bit on the rules, Keith, where offsetting penalties typically in football requires a replay of the play, but right there, they just said offsetting penalties, we're just going to stop, we're going to carry on at the 19th.
They're going to go Smith in the backfield against Sorrell behind him in kind of a fullback position.
First down run here, going to get a nice push up the middle, and that's going to get them about half of the yards they needed. 5-yard gain, they're going to love that on first down, Keith.
So if I'm Sheldon right now, I want to keep running Smith as much as possible because Smith has shown that he's not afraid to get it up in there in between the tackles, and it's really catching Turlock off guard. They're not getting any leverage on the defensive line, and that's allowing Smith, who is not the biggest guy, like we mentioned in the pregame, to shift like he did in that touchdown run where he cut it back outside to the left side for the touchdown.
2nd and 5, another run to the outside on the pitch here. A nice push and a nice battle. It's going to be a little bit short of the first down there. And 2 familiar faces in on the tackle there for Turlock. We've seen them on 2 tackles so far. Number 44, Jaden Jackson, and number 59, listed as a center, but he's obviously playing defense too, Jacob Massey. I've seen them in on 2 plays now, so you like what you see on the defensive front from them, and that was actually a good play there on second down, Keith. It brings up a third down and stoppable. It's actually perfect third down both ways. It's manageable offense, but defense can also get the stop and get the ball back.
They got Smith in the backfield. They sub in Bright, the tight end, number 11. Maybe a little bootleg action here.
They're going to run it, and it's going to get stuffed in the backfield on 3rd and 3. No gain, and that's going to be a 4th down and a 3 and out there for the Bulldogs defense. And Keith, as you mentioned before this drive started, that's exactly what they needed to try to squeeze some of the momentum here in the early going of this game. That was a very big stop on 3 and out there.
Yeah, and the most important part was the field position to which they stopped Sheldon in. I think Sheldon could have lived with the punt if they had gotten to at least their own 40-yard line, but they didn't. So now you're pinned back near your 15 where this punt's going to land. So it's important that Pierce gets that ball up in good position. He'll get it about midfield, but like I was saying, Sheldon would have liked to have gotten that ball a little more farther up the field.
Wow, Keith, as you were mentioning that there, the ball actually takes about a 15-yard bounce there, and they're going to get the ball all the way back on their 30-yard line. So the field position game just changed there. What a punt there.
Yeah. And like I was talking to you, Patch, it was a tough break for Turlock because Sheldon was pinned back there. They weren't necessarily pinned back to where their backs were at the goal line, but they were pretty far out. And so now with that bounce, it puts Turlock back on their side of the field. They would have liked to have that ball around the 50-yard line a little more, but breaks of the game. That breaks of the game.
Right, 34-yard line, still not a bad field position start for them. They've had a couple of good ones. First down play going to be a run, and he's going to get stuffed in the backfield. Not today.
And this is
a loss there.
And this is why I say, Padge, that Turlock should really try to move Magina out on that bootleg like they did on that 3rd down attempt, because it really threw Sheldon off. I think Turlock's known for running the football. That's great, but you got to have a little misdirection here. And let's get him out in the open field. This kid can run. This kid can move. Let's do a little bootleg here if I'm coach.
Well, what I see from the defense right here is I see a wide receiver out here with nobody on him, and they really need to. That's what they're doing. They're going to go outside. They're going to get a reception there. But unfortunately, nothing doing. Nice catch and a nice idea to make the pass. It was a good throw, good catch, but there was no room for Pena to move there, and he's actually going to gain maybe a yard at the most.
Yeah, and it was Pena on the last drive who had the ball thrown behind him on the bootleg, Dust. And so this time Pena does a great job. He has to leave his feet, go get the ball in the air. It's a little high again. Both these quarterbacks, Dustin, had some balls to start the game that are a little high and maybe out of reach. The nerves, maybe the adrenaline's pumping a little hard right now.
Long 3rd down play. We got a flag on the field. That'll be a hold. See if he just throws this ball away now. He's going to go deep on the run. Got his receiver, and it's going to be caught down there. Excellent play and excellent catch, but Keith, this is going to be all for naught as we have a hold in the backfield. And the officials are calling him back. I mean, I saw that one as it was happening from the left guard. He had a big grasp of him.
Well, this is a play, like I told you, Turlock's going to kick themselves when the game is all over because they basically, their offensive line coverage, you see here, it's going to break down. Magina's going to drop back here. The pocket immediately collapses. He goes to his left, whoop, whoop, not there, turns around, whoop, whoop, cuts corners, and he really does a great job here of rolling out. And so basically, he just throws up a prayer. Now, Lucas Curtis, the senior, 6-footer, he does a great job of high pointing this football near the 30-yard line, all for naught, though, as there is the flag on the play. But another play that could have really affected the game because it would have been first down from the Sheldon 30.
Yeah, you know, in football, when you get further on in the game than the high school level, you'll see when plays like that happen and the quarterback knows there's a hold, he's just going to throw the ball away. But they tried to make a long play there. Oh, wow, how about that on the pitch back? He's going to step out of bounds short, though. That, as you see up above us, that was a 3rd and 35 after the penalty. So they had a long ways to go. They're not going to get the first down. But that play, I believe that's the hook and ladder, Keith.
Yeah, they run the hook and ladder. It's Lucas Curtis who's going to come down with this football. He's going to immediately pitch it back. So I can get a number right there. If I could just see that number real quick.
It was Dalton Lynn.
Yeah, so it's Lynn. And so they're going to give a Lynn right there, but really a great job of Turlock. These are 2 plays here they've really mastered. Unfortunately, all for now, this is now 4th down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, after, you know, as we saw on the replay there, if he hadn't stepped out of bounds, he might have been able to secure that first down because he was still moving. And That was a good play, but on a 3rd and a mile, you're really just trying to gain yards for your punter. So in retrospect, that they did positive there. That's what they wanted to do. They got themselves in a more reasonable position for this punt here, but down in distance, they've gone 3 and out twice now, Keith, here in the first quarter. And unless they get the ball back here quickly, that might be their last possession of the opening quarter, and they may end up looking back with no positive yards gained, and that's going to be a lot to build from.
No, and I think that, for Sheldon, this is the start that they've wanted. Their defense has done a good job of holding their own for their offense to move the football. Obviously, in the last drive, they did not move it as much as they wanted to. Now they get another shot here.
Nice punt here, but it's right at him, so he's going to have a chance. Makes a couple moves, but good pursuit there. He's only going to gain a few yards. They're going to start out there around the 30-yard line. Good tackle on that play from Christian Cruz.
Yeah, Michael Graves is going to be in frustration mode when he gets on that sideline patch, because he knows that if Cruz doesn't get him on that tackle where he basically is clinging to his jersey, Mike Graves can make a move to the outside and possibly get more leverage. And he is a high flyer. Michael Graves can go and move. He has speed. And that speed would have been on full display if Christian Cruz had made maybe one of the plays of the game so far.
Yes, definitely. First down play, hand up right off the middle. They're going to give him about 3-4 yards. I like that's a quick handoff there. They had other action in the backfield. They had a receiver in motion as if he may be getting the handoff. And that quick little punch usually has been working here in the first quarter for Sheldon offensively on first down. We've seen them run it every time here so far, Keith, on first down. And they've gotten, at least on that one, they got 3. So they've gotten at least 3 yards each time. And they're getting some positivity on their first down running plays here, Keith.
Joe Catalico loves to run the football. He loved running it at Pleasant Grove, and he loves it now at Sheldon High School with all these athletes. And it's just the scheme.
Going to the outside, he breaks the tackle. Going to get the first down and more. What a job there in the backfield. Tyrell Smith was able to get out of a couple of tackles and gain himself the first down on 2nd and 7. Give him 9, Keith.
Tyrell Smith, we talked about it. He is elusive as you can go. Sheldon wants him to run the football up the middle because they know Tyrell Smith has the ability right here as he cuts it back to the right side. A great stiff arm to get that leverage. Just gets tripped up. But Tyrell Smith has the ability in his own to get to the outside. But they want to put him up the middle because they know he has that ability to improvise.
First down run there. A little bit of confusion in the backfield on that play, Keith. It doesn't look like Smith and his quarterback were on the same page. Handed it off on the wrong side, and that leads to a 1-yard gain only. 2nd and 9 there. Good job for the Bulldogs. Yeah, and yes, they've been successful on the ground here so far, has Sheldon. However, you're going to need to see some positivity in the air, too, because otherwise they're just going to put every guy in the box, Keith, and they're going to attack the run. So the running consistently is probably not going to continue to work. As I say that, we get a pass here, and it's going to be caught there. Excellent catch, and give him the first down.
Graves knew when he took that football up the middle, and Salinas fired over the middle on that slant route deep patch. He was going to take a hit. You'll notice here on the replay, he does a great job. The bootleg fake to Smith. Salinas fires it right over the middle. Graves, the great catch. He embraces the hit. He brings the football in so it can't get out on a fumble or an incompletion if it gets popped out. And Sheldon High School with a first down and moving.
Tackle there from the cornerback, Caleb Lemon, to prevent further damage, but as we just mentioned, another first down, and now Sheldon's getting their way near field goal range, looking to take a 2-score lead here in the early going. Exactly what they would look for. Handoff to the outside. Nice pursuit there for the defense. Also a good run there from Smith to get as much as he could there on both ways. Looks like they're going to give him about 4.5 yards there.
And there's actually Janelle on the run there. They use Janelle in kind of like a little wildcat formation, kind of. It's a little hybrid between a pro style and a wildcat. And they just do a good job of moving him into that middle slot. Sheldon's offensive line really has gotten the better of Turlock to start this game in this first quarter. They have won round 1. Turlock, if they're going to win this game, they cannot let them win round 2, 3, and 4.
Run up the middle, a nice battle there, and it's going to be close to the sticks. Let's see if they give him the spot here, Keith. It looks like they will. That's going to be a first down.
It is important, Dustin, that the defensive line for Turlock does a better job of getting, like we talked about, that leverage. It's starting up front with the offensive line and defensive line. That's why Smith, Janelle, Graves, whoever, they're getting such open holes because Sheldon is clearly winning the offensive line battle. Turlock has got to get some pressure in the trenches.
Yeah, I think that bootleg pass that we just saw to Graves, loosened that up a bit, because if they're only going to run, they're going to be on it. And see right there exactly what I mean. Every first down play Sheldon has had here in the first quarter has been a run, and that was the first time that the Turlock Bulldogs finally got privy to that, and they stopped them for no gain. Now let's see moving forward. They gave him a couple yards. Moving forward in the next few quarters, Keith, if Sheldon decides to mix it up a little bit more on first down, because I think at this point it's very clear what they're trying to do on the first down plays, and Turlock, the Bulldogs defense would be silly not to put all their men on the box on first down. 2nd and 8, we're going to try another run. A pitch to the outside. Good pursuit, but he's breaking a couple tackles there. He's actually going to get about 6 yards after all that. And went from 2nd and 8 to about a 3rd and 2. Keith, and on that play, it looked like they had the pursuit. He was kind of in the grass pretty much the whole way, but he was able to kind of carry that pile forward for a few extra yards.
Yeah, it's Smith again. This time it's a pitch to the left side. They've been utilizing Smith mostly up the middle. The play before was another RPO option kind of style where they swung Graves into the backfield, so Salinas could have the option to pitch it to him on the outside, but he opted to give it to Smith down the middle. This time they go Smith on the outside on the pitch.
3rd and 3, they're going to run it again, and he's going to get stuffed at the line. And you know what, Keith, that was the final play of the first quarter as the clock was ticking down, and I was thinking to myself, they probably should have let the clock tick down there. They had enough to let the play clock just run out, and they wouldn't have been penalized. And instead, they get stuffed at the line for a 4th down. So it's going to be a key play to start the second quarter, 4th and 2 on the 19-yard line on the opposite side of the field.
If I'm Joe Catalico, I have to weigh my options here, because obviously Brandon Westlake is a pretty good kicker. He had a great extra point. He's had a great kicking spree so far in this season. But at the same time, I got to weigh this. They have not been able to stop me in the first quarter so far. My offensive line is getting as much leverage as they have all season. Why not go for it? Obviously, you would want to take the points here, go up double digits. But in your heart, I just think you got to have to take some chances here in this game, D, if you're going to win it. And Catalico, this might be a shot where he, sticks to his guns here and goes for it with Salinas.
That's a very tough spot. They're right in the cusp of, gambling mode. On the 19, I think your field goal kicker can make this, and being up 7, I think you may take the conservative route. But if you are to go for it, I would like to see a bootleg. I don't want to see a run up the middle on 4th and 2 here. That's what they're expecting. Everybody is in the box.
They're going to go for it.
Yeah, they are going for it, Keith. I'd like to see them do a bootleg and a rollout here with the quarterback
in the backfield.
4th and 2, they're going to run it up the middle. He's going to get the first down. And then some, carrying the ball all the way down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal. And you called it, Keith. Stay aggressive there. And they didn't do what I say, no trickery. They just stuck to what they've been doing. Found that hole right up the middle on 4th and 2.
And it was actually my apologies to the folks at home and on YouTube. Thank you for watching us, by the way. It was Tyrell Smith they put in the backfield. It wasn't Graves. They put Smith in the backfield. And Smith does a great job after 44. McLaughlin makes a great block after he comes in motion. 1st and goal, Huskies. Their offense is rolling right now.
1st and goal going to be a run, and this is going to be stuffed there. Good job from the defense. Give him about a yard and a half, 2 yards. It's going to put it down to just inside the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. And I surely say run again here for sure on 2nd down, because you're getting enough of a push up front to where you can get a couple yards. You might be able to put it right into the end zone here.
I tell you what, Dustin, if I'm Joe Catalico, I might not throw a pass all night the way this is going, because Turlock has not been able to get any leverage on my offensive line.
The run up the middle, as we said, that is going to be stuffed, but they're going to get a little bit closer. Oh, they're going to call a touchdown here. They're going to say he made it in past the plane. Looked like he might have been down on the one, but as you know, in the high school level, we have no instant replay, so that will be a touchdown.
Tyrell Smith, have a day. Young man, have a day. That's your 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Huskies penning the extra point, up 13-0. You're going to notice again, it's basically the same concept. Run Tyrell Smith until he can't run anymore, and then run him some more. He has been dominant on this Turlock defense all night, and Joe Catalico right now with that extra point is up 14-0, and his offense nowhere near close to cooling off, D-Patch.
No, yeah, they've had 3 drives, 1 stalled and a 3 and out, but they got the ball back immediately here. I'd like to thank the Turlock High Quarterback Club. Join the Turlock High Bulldogs Quarterback Club for breakfast buffet at Latif's in Turlock. 8 a.m. Saturday. Come meet and hear from our players and coaches about all 3 games. The Turlock High Quarterback Club. Here in the early going of the second quarter, Keith, and danger time here for the Turlock Bulldogs. I know that Coach Peterson is expecting more than this. What is he telling his boys on the sideline right now?
Well, now you got to switch up your whole offense because you're used to letting your defense win football games via Turlock. They're a hard-nosed team, 100% effort. What I'm going to now is there's about 11 minutes left. I would like to get some points here. I'm not in total danger mode. At the same time, though, I am aware of the fact that Sheldon's offense, the RPOs, throw out the RPOs, the run-pass options, throw out the options of the trickery. They have just been able to run the ball up the middle, down my defense's throat all game. I cannot allow that. I have got to get my defense to get some leverage, like I told you, on the defensive line. And my offense, we got to get some points.
Pooch kick there, fielded at the 15, take it to the 25, to the 30. Not going to get too much further past that. So, new drive here, and as you mentioned, I completely agree. They need to switch up the offense completely. Their first quarter, they gained nothing. They were trying to run. They're getting stuffed. The opposite of what Sheldon Huskies have done. They've been trying to run, and they haven't been stuffed. So now it's time to see what the air attack can do here for Turlock. You know, let's see if they go on first down here immediately. I'm looking to see if they start playing a little bit more aggressively than they have. They haven't really gained any yards yet, Keith. They need to get something going here and now.
Yeah, more so like Magina getting to go.
A fake run to the running back, and he's going to be stuffed in the backfield there. Excellent job there.
And it's a great job, D-Patch, by the defense. Tyrell Smith, 2 touchdowns so far on the RPO run-pass options. That offense has been unstoppable. The defense has played just as well. They're holding up their end of the bargain so far. Sheldon's got to keep the toughness going on the defensive line. They're winning the battle in the trenches.
Fabian Joseph there with the tackle. It was actually a 3-way tackle, but he was at the point. That's going to be an offsides there. Good hard count there for the Bulldogs. And you know what, Keith? Sometimes in the game of football, if you're having trouble getting yards, that's something that I love to see there. I could tell you a dozen different times where there was a hard count from a quarterback in a key moment in a game where it completely changed the whole dynamic of the whole game. Sometimes they can be on those 4th down plays where, you know, the coach tells you on the sideline, we know we're not going for it, but the defense thinks you are, and they go the hard count, jump them off sides. You've seen it plenty of times.
No, and if you're Turlock, you're just looking to move the football right now because you haven't been able to do it all day, and you got to get some plays in there, mix it up. You can't go up the middle every time. Like right there, Magina takes on the bootleg. You've got to be able to get your quarterback in motion. He is an athlete. Let him do what he was born to do, run and make good plays on his feet, not just with his arm. You got to keep the defense guessing.
Yeah, on a 2nd down and 5 because of the offsides penalty, he was able to get about 5.5 there on the outside. And his athleticism got him that first down because he had a guy right in his face and there was nobody to throw to. But all he did, Keith, was make a little pump fake, and that pump fake was able to get him enough space to run the 6 yards he needed for the first down. And here we get a fake run, and Magina is going to carry it again and give him about 7 yards up the middle. But we do have a penalty. That may be a hold here on the right tackle.
And that was probably one of the few plays so far on Turlock, as it is a hold on Turlock. But that was one of the few plays so far, Dustin, where Turlock has been gaining leverage on Sheldon. There they go with another RPO option. It's a fake to the running back. Magina keeps it, and he actually does a really good job of keeping it and moving forward. Turlock has got to be able to get him, Dustin. I can't express this enough. They've got to be able to get him on his toes, and they got to be able to get him in the open field. So what that means is you can't position your attack towards the middle of the field. I got to work the corners the same way Sheldon was, and I got to let my speed on the outside take over.
It's now going to be 1st and 16 after that spot penalty. For those of you at home who don't understand why it's a 6-yard penalty, sometimes on a running play, you'll get spot fouls called, and they go back from where the penalty was thrown. So they happened to have a 4-yard gain there before the penalty was called. 2nd and 16, they're going to run it up the middle, give them maybe a couple yards there. Or that was 1st and 16. Now it's 2nd and 14, Keith, and that penalty is going to kill him. And the penalty was actually on Everett Johnson, offensive lineman, 6'8", committed to go to Cal. You know, big boy, 6'8", 290 pounds.
Everett Johnson, that's the reason they were trying to position everything towards the left side for him. He's big and he can move the pylons.
Nice pass there, going to be caught, but a good coverage there. He battles forward for maybe an extra half a yard, but it's not even going to bring him back to the original line of scrimmage. And yet again here, Keith, we have a 3rd and long, and Sheldon's defense has another opportunity to get back off the field.
This is going to be one of the most important plays of the game so far, Dustin. I know people like to exaggerate and say that a lot, but this is because you're down 14-0. There's more than enough time for Sheldon to get the ball back and go up 3 scores here. And so if I'm Turlock, if I can't convert here, I need my defense to get a stop.
3rd and long, going to have to make a pass. He's going to step up in the pocket and make a run for it. He's going to shake a guy. He's going to battle down the sideline, but he's going to end up about 3 yards short. And that's going to be 4th down. You got to love the pursuit there for the Huskies defense, and that's going to force another punting situation here, Keith.
This is what I was trying to talk about, Dustin. You've got to get Magina in positions where he can be creative with the football in his hands. Either throwing it, that's okay too, or by running it. Right there you see nothing's open down the middle seams of the field. Pena's guarded. You've got also Couchman, who was not available via the air, and so Magina takes it under his wing. A little high snap there on the punt.
Fountain here for the punt. Oh, a nice high punt there for Fountain. He's going to get a good bounce. Are they going to be able to down it? I think they will, Keith. We don't have a good angle, but they're letting that roll all the way down there, and they're going to down that one inside the 5-yard line. And that's exactly the type of boost the Bulldogs needed. They can't get it on the offense, so why not get it with their punter, Garrett Fountain?
Now here comes the fun part for Sheldon, and we're going to see what they can do. You've scored twice already. You're 14-0 on the run-pass options with Smith. Now you have an ability to go up 3 scores here and put the pressure on Turlock, because now your offense, which has been scoring at will all game so far, they can really make a statement here and put their stamp on the game.
Yes, Garrett Fountain committed to go to San Diego State on that punt there, and I can see why. That ball is going to be fumbled off the snap. Looks like the quarterback fell right back on top of it there, Keith.
Yeah, that's probably the first mistake that Sheldon has made all day. I don't know what happened between Salinas and the center. Maybe some miscommunication there. Maybe he was trying to audible something. You never know. But that has not happened for Sheldon so far tonight, where they have made mistakes like that. Coach Catalica hopes that is the last time he'll see any of that.
Yeah, I believe this is actually the biggest moment of the game we've had so far. Sheldon's been in full control. But this field position here gives the Bulldogs a chance. If they can either stop them or maybe force a turnover here, they can get themselves back into it right now. It's going to be a run to the outside. He's got some room there. And that is going to be a nice gain. He's going to be a little bit short of the first down. Oh, no, they're going to give him the first down. I see them pointing on my side here. Wow, yeah, they did give him the first down.
And I was going to say, Dustin, that is probably the most important play of this drive for Sheldon, because you're looking at what could have been a 3rd and long or a 3rd and short backed up on your own goal line. Now you get that first down. You got some breathing room. You're not at the 5-yard line. You're at the 10-yard line, so you avoid the risk of a safety now. So that is out of play, barring anything crazy happening. But now you've got some breathing room, and now you can let that offense do what it's been doing all day, which is pretty much at will.
Right, and I like to see them stick on the ground and run the clock right here, Keith. You got about 6.5 minutes in the opening half. You're deep in your own territory, but Sheldon has shown they could drive down the field. They've had 2 75-plus yard drives for touchdowns. If they do that again here, they go up by 3 scores right before the half. Game's almost over. Yeah, anything can happen in the game of football, but Turlock hasn't had any offense yet, and for them to be able to put up a few touchdowns unanswered is going to be extremely tough. So this is a big moment in the game. They're still deep in their own territory, Keith. Turlock's got to stop him, but on first down we get a 6-yard run. Second down, it's going to be a good stop there. He's actually going to lose a yard, so it's going to be 3rd and 5 here, and that was a big, big play there for the Bulldogs defense, finally getting some, some break through the line there. The defensive line and offensive line, they actually got the jump on the ball there. We're able to stop him in the backfield.
Yeah. This is what Sheldon wants to do. They've got the lead, 14-0. Tyrell Smith been unstoppable so far on all these trickery RPO plays. Now they can melt the clock, go on a long drive, and do what they've been doing so good all game, which is run the football at will. And if you go up 21-0 here, you are putting a stronghold on this football game.
On 3rd and short, they get stuffed in the backfield. Quarterback comes up and gets the job done there. What a play there from Anthony Frias, and that's going to hold them to a punt here, Keith. 4th and 2, they can't go for it. They're so deep in their own territory, whether they think they're going to get it or not. Wow, they're going to give him a first down. How about that? Looked like he was stuffed in the backfield there. See if we can get a replay of that.
Yeah.
Going to give him the first down. Looked like he lost a yard on that.
Sheldon has really been given some, I don't want to say unfair, but gracious spots so far, and it's helped them because their running game, Tyrell Smith, Mike Graves on the outside, they do a great job fighting for those extra yards, and those add up in the trenches.
The first down again. They're going to run to the outside. Not much doing there. Good pursuit. Only going to be about a 1.5 yard gain. So I like what they've done the last 3 plays. Have the Bulldogs finally gotten privy to the fact that they're going to see nothing but the run right now. Sheldon's only thrown the ball 2 or 3 times this whole game. And they're really doing exactly what I said a moment ago, sitting on this clock, playing the clock perfectly right now. They're still deep in their own territory, and if they keep running the ball, they could feasibly have the last possession of the half here, Keith.
Yeah, Sheldon's done a great job so far. You've got a 14-0 lead. Smith's been unstoppable. Now they're going to
go deep, wide open. It would have been an easy touchdown, but he overthrows it by a few yards, and that's exactly what I was mentioning for the Turlock Bulldogs defense. You need to force the throw. You need to bring all your corners, all your safeties in. Sheldon hasn't completed but 1 pass all game.
Well,
why not? They try it right there. The quarterback can't hit that long ball. He was wide open. That should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's one that Frankie's going to want back there because he dials it up perfect. He has Janelle in the open field up the seam of the middle. If he hits on that deep ball, deep patch, it's 20-0 right now, and the fans are going crazy, which they're not right now. But if he hits him right there, it's 20-0. But I told you, Salinas has the ability to beat them with a deep ball. They're going to go again here.
Another pass on 3rd and 6, and it's going to be intercepted. A tip off the hands, picked off, and he takes it all the way down to the 23-yard line. How about that momentum shift here? That ball should have been caught, Keith. It was right off his hands. That should have been a first down.
You're going to see right here on the replay, D-Patch. Salinas, they're going to go in a wide set. 2 wide receivers split out. He's going to drop back. Great time. It's a little off the top, and it's Fry's number 21 who is able to get the deflection. Salinas, a little too much mustard on the hot dog there, a little too much tapatio on the taco, if you will. And as a result of that, Fry is just with the instinctive ability to grab that ball and
first down run to the outside, Keith. He's going to get a lot here. He's going to cut back to the outside, give him the first down and then some. And all of a sudden, they're inside the 10-yard line. How about that on first down? You like that play, Keith?
Lucas Curtis is a wide receiver. He is not a strong back or a power back. But in that situation, he does a great job of what we call fighting through the trenches. What I mean by that is this, is that at the point of contact, you've got to be able to move your guy. And he does a good job of that as they get to the left side. So now what you're seeing is Turlock, big turnover. Now they can execute and get out in the open field and spread the ball.
They fake the handoff, and Magina goes nowhere on that one. Give him maybe a yard. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9. They're on the 13-yard line, Keith. In here with less than 4 minutes in the opening half, it is only a 14-point game, but I don't feel a field goal means too much right here.
Okay, remember how I said about a couple minutes ago that was the most important play, that 3rd down around the 40? Okay, this is the most important drive of the game for Turlock. You got the turnover you needed. The momentum's in your favor. Now you've got to rely on Magina to get this ball in the end zone. 3 does you no good. You're still down 2 scores, but you get 7 here, and the game turns on its axle.
2nd and 10, he makes a pass, and it's behind him a little bit and dropped. He almost had his hands on it, Keith.
It's a slant route to the left. They do a good job here. Misdirection. He has his guy, Magina does, and I believe, as we look back here, it's in the shotgun formation. He's going to spread out Curtis, who had the great run the play before the left. He has it dialed up. It's perfect to Baldwin, number 10, but it's a little behind him. And like I told you, I don't know whether it's the just the adrenaline or whatever, but these quarterbacks have been high, they've been outside. Has not been good for either Magina or Salinas so far.
3rd and 10, Magina rolls to the right, looks back to the left. He has nothing. He might have to throw this one away. He's trying to there's a holding penalty in the backfield, Keith. He runs to the right side. He's going to get a nice gain. Falls out of bounds. So we have a hold in the backfield. Let's see where they spot this ball. Look, wow, he got the first down. Keith, look at that. How about that on 3rd and 10? Magina had 5 guys chasing him, was able to run for the first down. However, yeah, we have a holding penalty. It was still a good effort from Magina, though, to be able to get that first down.
We've seen 3 times now in this game, Patch. Magina has had his offensive line break down on him. Okay, no problem. I'll do it myself. He has had the ability to scramble around. What that does is when you're a defense and that quarterback, you can't get him on his back or on the turf via a sack or out of bounds or a tackle. Now it puts pressure on my secondary because my secondary has to stay with wide receivers and tight ends. And that is easier said than done when you don't know A, where the quarterback's going, or B, who he's going to throw it to. And Magina has had the ability to make some Houdini-like plays over his career thus far. Now you're backed up a little bit. This is the farthest you've been in this drive. Third and long.
Again, now I changed my mindset. I think they will try to play for a field goal here. It's 3rd and about 20. You might want to try to get a few of these yards back to get yourself in field goal range. Instead, they make a pass that could have been picked off for a touchdown. A lucky break there. That ball was dropped. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 31 on the 36-yard line. So what do you do here? You don't have a kicker that's going to kick a 53-yard field goal in high school. You don't go for a 4th and 31, and you don't really have much room to punt. So kind of an odd situation. Keith, what would you do?
Well, Layden Johnson, the linebacker for Sheldon, is going to be kicking himself tonight when he sees that game footage. He had a play that would have definitely made it 20-0. He gets that ball and it's gone. Your Turlock, you have no choice. You got to go for it. And that's what they're going to do.
Yep, you're right. I don't think that they didn't find much room to punt here. I mean, you could try to pooch punt them, maybe down to the 10 or the 15-yard line. But it's kind of hard to make a 20-yard pooch punt, Keith.
No, it's easier said than done. I think that Turlock is really in a pickle spot here because they want to score. They want to get points from this turnover off Salinas. On the other hand, penalties, miscues, and things of that nature have really hurt them. It just seems like 3 plays ago that Magina had his guy on the slant route and he threw it behind him. Now you wake up and you're like, how did we get back from 1st and goal or 2nd and goal from darn near the 1-yard line to now we're out of field goal range. If I'm Turlock and I can't convert this or whatever I'm going to try to do here, this is going to be one of those plays again. They're going to kick themselves because they had a chance here to really make this a 1-score game. Now you're stuck in a big pickle.
Yeah, it looks like they might be punting it. Turlock High Quarterback Club. Join the Turlock High Bulldogs Quarterback Club for breakfast buffet at Latif's in Turlock at 8 a.m. on Saturday. Come meet and hear from our players and coaches about all 3 games. So they are going to punt it here on 4th and 32. That's what I thought. That 4th and 32 just seems silly to go for it. You could try a pooch punt here. Oh, no. He shakes it off his left side of his foot, Keith. Oh, no. That's only about a 5-yard punt.
Well, Magina, he gets a good hold. There's nothing about this punt that would scream error. It's a good snap. It's right in his wheelhouse. I just think it was one of those plays. If you're a golfer, you know how it is. You know, one day it'll be down the middle, a little to the left, a little to the right, and we get those every now and then in every sport where it just does not work out in the first play. But it's got to sting for Turlock because they had 7 points in their mind. They come away with nothing off the interception. And if I'm Sheldon now, 3:29 left, more than enough time the way I've been running the football to score again. So it wasn't a lose for me.
No, in fact, they actually gained yards because the last drive ended on their own 23. And so the Bulldogs go 5 yards backwards on that drive. They lose 5 yards. So Sheldon on that play is going to be a false start, and it's going to bring it back to 1st and 15. And that's the first penalty we've seen here from Sheldon. So they've been playing a really good game overall, and they would love to finish out this first half strong. But, yeah, Keith, that drive, that was a killer there, and then followed up by the 8-yard punt from Fountain. Not something that you're used to seeing from him. Run up the middle on 1st and 15. They're going to get those penalty yards back just about. Give them 4 there. Make it 2nd and 11.
Sheldon has had the ability all night to run the football wherever they've wanted. All of their points have come via touchdowns, via runs. Every point Sheldon has in this 14-0 game has come from the running game, and they've ran the ball with ease. The offensive line has won the trench battle. Tyrell Smith's been fantastic. Now that's going to give them the option. If I want to go up the middle, swing it to the left, maybe do a halfback draw or a pitch on the right side. Now I have options, and I can keep them guessing.
They're really sitting on the play clock, and I don't mind that at all. They don't want to give the ball back on defense here in this last couple of minutes here, Keith. 2nd and long, going to be a run up the middle again. Bulldogs pursuit, and that's what we've seen about the last 5 runs now. Have been good pursuit from the Bulldogs. They finally, at the end of this first half, caught on to the game plan. of the Huskies, realizing that they're just going to continue to run the ball until you can stop them.
But they've got to be careful, Dustin, because Salinas has a cannon for an arm, and he has the ability to flip the play for better or worse with one play with that arm of his. He almost dialed it up and found Janelle for a long touchdown that would have made it a 3-score game. So you cannot rule out the fact that Salinas can throw the football and beat you there as well.
3rd and 4, he throws it on the outside, finds his man. It's going to be a close spot, Keith. I see him about a yard short here.
See, I think Graves got it, but it's going to depend on the spot. Sheldon's had good spots all night. We'll see.
Well, you see where the stick is, and you see where the officials are lined up over there. He's looking like he's about a yard short. They're going to measure. They're throwing up the 4th down. That's exactly what I said. He looks like he's about a yard, half yard short here. You're going to see him pushed out of bounds just short of that stick on that replay. And you're on your own 34 with a 14-0 lead. Your defense has played perfect. That being said, Keith, I say 100% of the time you punt this away, even if it is just 4th and inches.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm going to be really interested to talk to about to Coach Cat as he's coming off the field for the first half is what is the game plan? Because now you've got a stronghold. Your offense has been able to move the ball with ease. You've been fine. You're not in the position where, you're in danger of losing so far. One mistake on the interception by Salinas, but other than that, everything else has been fine. So do you keep running the ball like you should, maybe? Or do you allow Salinas another chance to go downfield and maybe bust this thing wide open? Because like you said, you've got options now. But if I got 2:07 left, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to put 6 on the board here for better or worse.
Right, I think they need to start throwing it down the field just a little bit, and they gave him the 1st down on that. I don't like that spot. That's the second time we've seen an interesting spot. Seemed like he was short. They actually had 4th down listed at first. Give him the 1st down. They're actually going to stay on the ground here. They have no problem playing conservative, only going to give him a couple yards there. And they don't seem to be in any hurry. They do have all their timeouts, but based on what I see just right now from the lack of hurry from their huddle, they don't really care about more points at the moment, Keith. I think they're content with a 14-0 right now is what it looks like.
And it's fine, but I'm not on board with this completely. You've had all the momentum so far. Why not take some shots? And here they go.
Down the field, way overthrows him on that one, about 10 yards over. They're looking for a flag.
He's going to get it. Pass interference. He's going to get it.
Or it might be a hold. We'll see.
It'll be a hold or a pass interference, but Graves was signaling. He knew.
Where do we have the flag at here? Okay, yes.
Michael Graves has 4.4 speed. He's able to move once he gets that first step on you, and he was going towards there. But when you've got a guy like Graves who has burners on his feet, you've got to be able to slow him down somehow. And sometimes you get away with a little hold, sometimes you don't. Turlock did not in that case.
Yeah, as you see the replay here, we are going to get a holding call.
And it's right here. Bam. He's going to nail him right there.
Yeah, and Graves knew the flag was coming, but still, they're on their own side of they're on the 43 of Turlock here. They have enough time, Keith. They got the clock stops on 1st downs, and they have all 3 timeouts. So a minute and a half is more than enough time there for them to do what they need to do.
I would go right back to running the ball.
Yeah, I would too here with 3 timeouts. They're going to go down the field, long ball. Another flag.
Another one. It's the same exact play, D-Padge. It's a long ball to Graves. Salinas tries his luck again because he knows even if it's a hold or a pass interference, it's a free play. That's the second time that Turlock has been busted on a long penalty like that. It is frustrating as a coach, obviously, when you see the exact same play.
See the replay here on this one, Keith.
It's the exact same play. Salinas is going to fire it deep. Another hold by the safety this time as Graves is tripped up in the process of it.
That's going to be a 15-yard PI. The previous one was just a holding.
I tell you what, I look at Michael Graves. He is one of those guys that is looking for a scholarship. He's got a couple of offers thus far in his wheelhouse, so he will definitely play at the next level. A guy like him who can really turn it on once he gets in the open field on that deep route. Any coach in the country would love to have that.
Definitely, Keith. He's a bright future ahead of him. They're going to try and run, and it's going to get stuffed out here in the backfield. Give him about 3 yards. Interesting play call here. Now we're under a minute. All their timeouts, but they still got a ways to go down the field here, another 35 yards. They're going to have to throw a couple deep balls here. The only positive about what they're doing with the clock is assuring that the Bulldogs are going to go in with no points at the half. So I suppose with the way they're playing right now defensively, Coach is thinking to himself, if we don't score here, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think he is fine, Coach Cat is, with just running this clock. And if I can get a field goal, even that is
going to be a throw deep here. He's got a man. Dropped it in the end zone. Would have been an easy touchdown. And the ball was dropped. It's perfect pass there, Keith. And you know what? Janelle was not able to hold on.
It's Janelle again on a deep ball. The first time that Salinas, tried to fire him on the deep ball, there was a little miscommunication. He overthrew him. This time he's got Janelle right in the end zone. All Janelle has to do is let the ball feed in his breadbasket, and it's 6. I think on that play what you saw was he heard footsteps. He also, as you position it, is near the back of the end zone. So maybe he's thinking about my footing. I got to get 2 feet down, or at least 1. And now you are looking at third down, but at least we know the intent. They want to score 6.
Yes, 3rd and 7. No, this is a big third down play. Going to go to the air again. He's going to look for the outside. He's going to get the reception. Give him the first down. Yes, the first down on 3rd and 7. Give him about 8.
It's an out route to the outside near the sideline. Salinas does a great job of throwing the ball on the proper side of the field. As you watch on the replay,
look like he's out of bounds here. Keith, check the replay out. I don't think he got down.
And it's a great route run by Graves.
Watch
He got
this.
1 foot down there.
Ooh, that's close, though. That's close.
But I think they're going to give it to him because Graves had the foot down when he caught the football at first.
Yep.
Which counts.
Very, very close. First down on the 23. They've got all their timeouts left. Only 30 seconds, but all their timeouts. Miscommunication there. A couple of receivers in the area, but he threw it right in between both of them. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. 35 seconds. All their timeouts, and they are on the 23-yard line here, Keith. So with all your timeouts, all of the field is still available to you. You could, I don't think they're going to run, but you could still run. You could throw the ball over the middle. You got enough timeouts to do that with only needing 23 yards. So they don't have to shoot to the end zone just yet.
I would go back to Graves, and I would go back on that same out route, maybe on the right side, because they're going to have Graves line up to the right side here. So maybe they're going to try something deep. Defensive back's going to back up a little bit to get that cushion.
2nd and 10, he's going to go. Oh, and he'll be a run. Oh, and he's going to get knocked down. Nice stick there. They're going to have to burn a timeout, and they will. I like the fake and the opportunity on the run. On 2nd and 10, give him about 6. We're going to see the replay here. Nice. He hands it off behind his back. And that tackle.
General Bright is number 11 on that tackle. He is a 5'9", 225-pound linebacker, and all 225 pounds he uses to try to block Tyrell Smith backwards. Smith with a great effort to try to get some leverage there.
It was Caleb Lemon actually with number 31 there on that stick on the sideline, and we could hear it. I guess we are very close to that play, but we could hear it as it was happening, and very big play. Advertising. Cost-effective advertising to market your business on NorCal Sports TV. Contact Dion at NorCalSportsTV.com, 888-350-4070, NorCal Sports TV. So, 6 yards gained there, 1 timeout burned, 26 seconds left. It's going to be a 3rd and about 4. Clock stops on a first down. You can still get one more first down here, which if they do, I imagine they still probably will call another timeout. They're really getting close to the nitty-gritty here on the clock on the timeout situations, though. They still can do it, but they might want to start taking their shots to the end zone. 3rd and 4. Looks like they're in the I form. They're gonna throw it. That's what I thought they'd do. Go to the end zone. Oh no! Another sure touchdown, and he was not able to catch it, Keith. It looks like he did not look back for the ball quickly enough.
Graves is going to run the same route he did to get the first down. He's going to want that ball lined out towards the pylon. I'm thinking Salinas thought he'd go a little farther in the route, Dustin, so maybe he would be positioned near the middle of the end zone. So he fires it in the same spot. The only problem is it's a little outside, and like the story's been for both quarterbacks all night, just been off by a little bit. In the second half, rest assured, both Magina and Salinas are going to be hitting their targets.
No field goal attempt on 4th and 3 here on the 15. So what that leads me to believe is they have no faith in their kicker here, Keith, although we've seen him make a couple of good extra points.
Well, I think what Cat wanted to do there was he wanted to get them in a position where maybe he can throw Turlock off balance. When you line up usually on 4th down like that or 4th and goal like that, usually you do go for a field goal. In that situation, I think maybe he wanted to see if they can catch their defense off guard.
Yep.
It didn't happen. They called a timeout immediately. So now, if they don't send out the kicker here, I'll be shocked.
They just did. As you were saying, that the kicker went out and the quarterback went in, but Turlock was actually the one that called the timeout, though. It wasn't Sheldon. Turlock used their final timeout there, but as you mentioned, Coach thought better of it and send the field goal kicker out there, which I find wholeheartedly to be the best move just because of the time left on the clock.
Yeah.
Even if you do get this first down, you're going to be under 20 seconds. You're going to have one timeout left. You know, it's safe.
They're not sending the kicker out. Nope, they're not going to do it.
Well, they sent the quarterback to the sideline.
No.
Magina.
He's in there right now. Salinas right now, D, is is near the offensive line. I don't know what they're going to do here. They do have Smith in the backfield. They've got Graves flanked out left side.
Just trying to figure out what they're doing here. The official.
I think they're adjusting the clock.
Oh, yep. They changed it to 26. It needs to be at 22, he's saying. I don't know why they added 4 seconds there.
22 seconds.
And they're taking their time to get the scoreboard fixed there.
I tell you what, though, it has been a great game so far. No doubt about it.
Wow, they are going for it. They changed their mind again. On 4th and 3, they're going to run it up the gut. He's going to get the first down by about a yard, and they're going to call an immediate timeout.
Well, they're gonna send Janelle in motion off the left side towards the right. It's another one of those plays where you've got a receiver, D, that's coming through the backfield, a little misdirection, keeps the defense off guard because you don't know if they're going to flank it to him on a wheel route towards the flat or go up the middle with Smith. But the case been all night. They give it to Smith right up the middle, and it's a first down.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Turlock High School Quarterback Club. Meeting Rooms on Demand, a unique alternative to hotel meeting rooms with locations in Fresno, Bay Area, and Las Vegas. American Asphalt, taking care of business. Photo Pro Sports, specializing in team and individual banners, posters, t-shirts, and more. And Red Brick Bar and Grill, hosting tonight's watch party in Turlock, California. So if you guys are at home hanging out and you happen to be tuned in, you can always head down to Red Brick right now and go have some dinner and some drinks and go enjoy a good game. We're just nearing halftime here. And again, interesting to see what happens here in these next few plays. I imagine they're going to take at least a couple shots at the end zone. That's what they want. But they may end up just kicking the field goal anyway, so it could be all for naught. We'll have to see. They got one timeout left in 18 seconds. With the one timeout, that is enough time to have one more play in the middle of the field. So they don't have to go to the corner. They could go up the middle. They can even run it again. But they have to realize they only have one timeout left, so they only have enough air for one play.
So we're going to see what they can do here, Dustin, because they got a lot of options here. They're going to go Smith in the backfield again. You can rest assured Turlock will be keen on him on this first down.
Yeah, but I think they're going to throw it. Find it hard to run right now. They're going to roll out here. They're going to roll with the quarterback. He's going to find the sideline. Oh, no! What a hit there. He does a complete flip. He's down to the 1. He's trying to say that's a touchdown. They're going to call their final timeout in 10 seconds. Check this replay out.
Salinas is going to go on the bootleg. He's going to risk it all here. He's going to go head-on somersault, and he almost gets into the end zone. His feet literally land in the end zone. The ball is just a little out, and the rule is that ball's going to cross the plane. But a great fake and a great bootleg by Frankie Salinas. He has the wherewithal to just say, I'm going head over heels here. And he runs into number 21, Anthony Frias, who had the interception earlier in the game.
Jeez, Keith, that was violent. That looked like that could have hurt him there. That was a very dangerous play.
I tell you what, you know.
What do you do now, though? This is the situation. I love them. You have no timeouts left, so I know you're only a half yard, but you can't run it. You can't run the ball.
You want to have a play. Obviously, you don't want to run the football because that'll take more time off the clock, and you can't get farther than this. It's first and goal, literally. What I would like to see them do is work the outsides. If it's not there for Frank Salinas, then you want to throw the ball away. I don't want to give up anything crazy because if I throw the ball or try to force it, I run the risk of an interception. I want to make sure that if I can get a completion, If it's not in the end zone, then it's towards the outside so I can stop the clock. I don't want to force anything. If it's not there and I sense pressure, don't take a sack, obviously. Throw it away and let my kicker try to come on and get us a 17-0 lead.
Right, I agree with you, Keith. You know, you just, even though it's only a half yard and your line's dominated all game, if you try to run and you get stuffed, that's the end of the half and you're throwing away 3 points. So you have to try to throw the ball here.
I tell you what, man.
And you only have enough time, I think, for one play. You don't 10 seconds, that one throw takes about 5-6 seconds. I don't think there's enough time to throw an incomplete and then try once more.
I tell you what, this has been a fun game to watch so far. Two teams that are on the rise, both 2-1, both great head coaches. For Turlock, this has been the best their defense has played. Not necessarily in gaining yards, but it's been bend, don't break. They would love to ride the momentum here. They get the ball back to start the second half at halftime and really get a good goal line stop here.
Here we go. They're going to try the run.
Boom,
He's going to make it in for the touchdown.
Turlock thinks they've got a fumble in the end zone, but it'll be a touchdown. The line judge comes in from the right hash and says touchdown. Tyrell Smith now, 3 touchdowns on the day. Have a day, Ty Smith.
Here's a replay of this. That's an absolute perfect drive for the Huskies. They take all the time off the clock, and they get into the end zone. That's actually a very closer play than it looked on the replay than it did on live. It's to where that would have been a fumble or not.
It's the same play kind of that Francisco Salinas had when he did that hurdle over there. Because what it is it's full effort. Tyrell Smith fully extended, blasts his way through the middle, and let's not forget the offensive line. They've been perfect all night so far. They get the push that lets Tyrell Smith hurdle his way to the end zone head first, I might add. 10 for the hat trick.
21-0 at the half here. We got 6 seconds left. There's enough time for a kickoff, but full-on domination here for the Huskies, playing an absolute incredible game here. What do the Bulldogs do at halftime? What are they talking about to find their way back into this game, or can they, Keith?
Well, they can. They've had success letting Magino roll out and get shifty in the open field. He has the speed to take it over. The problem I have if I'm Turlock so far is I have not been able to convert on a pass play that has counted. They've had 2 that have not been counted via the penalties, but they've had the ability to connect downfield, albeit with their wide receivers or things of that nature. For me, it's like this. I've got to be able, if I'm Turlock, to get my passing game going, because now I can't run the football. I'm down 3 touchdowns. I'm in a hole going at halftime. The good news, I get the football back. I got to start focusing on a long drive here to get 7 on the board. That next drive in the second half to start things off for Turlock will be so key because they have to come away with points somehow, D-Patch.
Totally agree. I think that's their only method to come back in this game. I don't see them making a late game comeback here. A little pooch kick going to be fielded. Nice field position here, but there's only going to be 2 seconds on the clock, so they're going to have a time for one play. And give it a shot at a Hail Mary. I mean, you may as well. You're down by 3 touchdowns. This isn't the time to take a knee.
Yeah, the drawback probably to having something like that is that what happens if I throw a football that's picked off and they've got leverage and they go and throw it back. But I tell you what, this has been so far the mentality. If you were Sheldon High School, you come off that big win last week. The week before, you squeak out a 40-39 W. This is the game that Coach Catalco wanted them to have. They've come out, they've set the tone. Been great so far.
He's going to take the shot, or actually he's going to run it. Nice run there. Oh, he's still on his feet. Now he's going to go down officially. That'll be the end of the first half here. 21-0. Sheldon Huskies in control here, Keith. Complete domination. Going to be an interesting second half to see if the Bulldogs can find their way back into this game. We're going to take a quick break here, come back for a little bit of a halftime analysis here on NorCal Sports TV. Are we on 1 and 3 here?
No, 1 and 2. Okay. Yeah, good work. You guys got the level's got to be. Cause you guys are enthusiastic. Like right there, maybe. Okay.
Welcome back here. Getting ready for the second half as you see the band out here finishing up the halftime show, Keith. 21-0 at the half. The Sheldon Huskies out on top. Tell us a little bit about that first half, Keith.
Well, yeah, I mean, it started out with the Huskies really controlling the offensive line and the line of scrimmage and just the trenches. They have been able all game, Dustin, to really just inflict their will up front. And that has allowed Tyrell Smith, who has 3 rushing touchdowns, to have his 3 rushing touchdowns. But it has also allowed for Tyrell Smith to show that speed and that ability to change misdirection and cut back and just really utilize all the talents that he possesses. On the other side for Turlock, and I'm meaning to apologize, Ed, the quarterback's name is not Magina, it's Kozakowicz. So Kozakowicz, number 4, has had some chances to get mobile, not a lot. They've had big plays. The only problem is, Dustin, every single big play that Turlock has had so far has been called back via penalty. They've had a slew of those that have killed them on the offensive side of the ball. Fries gets the pick. They're unable to convert into any points. So Turlock, really the key in these second half is get out to a good start. They get the ball to start this second half, so that's a good start. But it's all about just hitting your strides offensively, and when you hit those strides, make sure you walk away with some points.
Definitely, Keith. I think the Sheldon Huskies have a really good plan here to be able to finish this game, or should I say they should have a good plan. They ran the ball 98% of the time in the first half, and they also controlled the clock. Being up by 3 touchdowns right now, that the clock is their best friend. There's only 2 quarters left to go. I expect them, when they get the ball, to do nothing different, to run the ball and to run that play clock down and really just try to turn this last 24 minutes into a very quick 24 minutes, because if that's the case, you're going to come out with a victory, Keith, up by 21 points. Sure, they would love to go on and win this game 48-0 and finish off a blowout, but really the most important thing is getting a win, and I think that's what they're most concerned about, is winning the game and playing a good second half. So that's what I expect to see from them, conservative play here in the second half, and I expect them to look to amp it up on defense. They had an excellent first half, gave up no points, barely any yards. Most of the good plays, like you said, were taken back via penalty. So the Bulldogs here to get back in this game, Keith, as you mentioned, right before the end of the first half, I believe they have to go down right here and score 7 to get back into the game. The key play for me in that first half was, actually I should say the key plays were the set of plays after the interception. It was already 14-0. The Bulldogs were able to get that interception, as you mentioned, and get down into the red zone. And what could have been turned to a 14-7 game at halftime ends up for naught, as they do not score, and Sheldon is able to go and take the ball the length of the field and go up by 3 scores here before the half, Keith.
No, Sheldon is going to do what they've done all game, which is what's gotten them the 21-0 lead. They're going to run the football. When you take a nice lady out on a nice date, you do not pull up in the Corvette you don't have. You stick with the Corolla. And for Sheldon, they're going to stick to that Corolla. And that Corolla's been Tyrell Smith, who's playing like a Lamborghini if you want to get technical. But Sheldon High School is going to do what they've done all game long. They're going to run the football, and they're going to use that as their main point of attack, which is what they've been doing all game. So expect them to run the football. But this is what Joe Catalico's teams like to do. Let's get the early lead. Let's get the possession arrow in favor of us. Let's get the clock in favor of us. And let's just do what we've been all game, which is winning the battle up front and then letting Tyrell Smith and Mike Graves and Janelle, who has some making up to do for that drop he had in back of the end zone, let's let our playmakers make plays. And we'll take care of the rest.
I agree with you, Keith, as you see the coach here for the Huskies on the sideline getting prepared here for the second half. He's just so totally into the game. You could just see that look on his face, and I love to see that. You know, you could tell at halftime that he was not lax on his boys, because that is one method for the Bulldogs to be able to come back in this game. Let's say they went into halftime and we're joking around, laughing, having a good time, kind of mailing it in up 21-0. That gives the other team the chance to come back. I don't see any of that from the Sheldon sideline right now, Keith.
No, Sheldon has a 21-0 lead, and they know that this game is far from over. So they're going to want to keep the pressure on Turlock. Don't make any mistakes. Keep the RPOs, and let's keep that clock running with running the football the way Tyrell Smith has ran it, and on the outside hashes with Mike Graves at wide receiver.
A pooch kick there, not a very good one. It's going to give them the field position all the way on their own 35-yard line. That was not exactly what the Huskies wanted on the kickoff there.
So they're going to start on their 33. So good field position here to start the second half. Kozakowicz here. Hands it off. Going to be a good play there. Nice run. Give him about 8 yards there on first down. It's Curtis with the carry on that one.
So this is what Turlock wants to do. They want to keep running the ball. Kozakowicz, it's going to be key for him. You cannot afford any more mistakes, D-Patch. You have got to be able to keep the ball in your side and on your possession hands, but you've also got to come away with points and execute when you have the football.
9 yards there first. 2nd and 1, Curtis to the left side. He's going to get the first down and then some. Nice run to the outside there. Give him about 7.
And it was Curtis Dustin who had the end around. It was probably the remotely same play that they had when they were on the goal line. So they keep that same play, a little misdirection there. And now what you're starting to see is Turlock, the ability. They're not going through the trenches anymore. They know they've got to utilize the sideline. They've got to utilize the clock and speed their offensive tempo up because they need points, and they need points fast.
Yeah, that was a quick first down, something we have not seen from them most of this game. Let's see if they can build on that here, Keith. They've only got half a field left to go now, already at midfield. Run to the outside, going to be another good first down play. Give them about 5 there, Keith. 2nd and 5. Positive game there on first down.
This is what Turlock wanted to do when they came out for the second half, Dustin. They want to move the football. They want to move it fast. They know that Kozakowicz has the ability to get the ball to the playmaker. That's something they didn't do in the first half. Call it misdirection, call it misfiring, whatever you want. They have just not been able to reconnect in that first half. They're trying to connect now in the second half. It's working so far.
2nd and 6. Going to be a run from the quarterback. He busts it outside and gets the first down and then some. Kozakowicz there. I love that. He fakes to go run back up the middle. And that fake actually faked the guy out on the defensive side and was able to get him to the outside.
Well, Jonah Kozakowicz, his initials are JK, and that was a JK right there. He made Sheldon think that they were going to go up the middle. Then he JK'd him, and he bounced it to the outside because Kozakowicz has the ability with his athleticism to maneuver any way he wants. Big gain there for JK.
Puts him to the 35-yard line. Kozakowicz going to go down the field, and he's got his man! That's going to be a touchdown! 35-yard strike, and in 1:27 seconds, how about that? Into the end zone here. That is going to be a touchdown from Cameron Sherwood, the tight end, Keith.
Sherwood is going to go up the middle. Kozakowicz is going to have a wide receiver go in motion, split to the right. He's going to fake it to the running back. He's going to fire it literally in between the two safeties, and then the rest is up to Sherwood, who takes one of those safeties for a ride, number 2, which is Mike Graves, and he takes Mike Graves for a ride with a stiff arm and does the rest. And now Turlock gets the touchdown they needed to get back in this ball game with.
Extra point, up and no good, Keith. And that is a little bit of a down kill there, a little bit of a momentum steal back for Sheldon, actually, there. Now it's a 15-point game. That means you're going to need a 2-point conversion as the game progresses.
For Sheldon, it is going to be very, very important, Patch, that they melt some clock on this drive. Literally, Turlock scored in under 2 minutes. If there was a 2-minute drill, they perfected it. They had the great runs with Curtis. Kozakowicz did a great job of moving, maneuvering, including bouncing it to the outside. And then it all falls on Cameron Sherwood, who grabs the ball up the middle of the big tight end. That was a big-time play in a big-time situation in a big-time game.
I couldn't have said it better, Keith. Both of those players made a great play there. Kozakowicz, first of all, makes a dart pass right between the two safeties. It couldn't have been in a more perfect spot. But Sherwood, not only does he run an excellent route, but after he catches the ball, the yards after the catch, like you said, he took Graves for 7 yards into the end zone there. Graves could not take him down. Full ball in the kickoff return. Ball is loose. There is a ball. The Turlock has it. I believe the Bulldogs have landed on the ball here, Keith.
Turlock's going crazy, and I think they got it. I don't know the exact number, but that ball definitely popped out before a knee or a body part was down.
Here's the replay. Check it out. Ball is clearly out.
And it's Carr who forces the ball out. He takes the receiver to the ground, and Turlock, in fact, does have it deep patch.
Casey Carr forces the fumble. Did we see who recovered here?
And it might have been Carr who got down there first. The ball moved. Carr literally sticks in the same spot, and the ball comes right back to him. There's another guy we can't identify on a replay.
Yeah, when that ball gets in the pile, Keith, sometimes it becomes hard to find. But I think that was a special teams player, not even a starter. 28, I believe, is the one who recovers that. Yes, Ronnie Martinez with the recovery on that right there. How about that?
And now all the momentum back with Turlock. After you said that they thought they got a little momentum lost because of that PAT, now you get the ball right back.
Yeah, Keith, who would have thought this would be the start to our second half here? Going deep, has a man! He catches it in the end zone, touchdown!
The ball came out at the end.
I think, he's going to be down at the 1. Looks like they have him down at the 1.
And it's Baldwin from Kozakowicz. I don't know what happened to Kozakowicz in the first half, but this is a different guy here. He's connecting with his receivers. It's a shotgun formation again. They're going to try the same thing with Curtis. They move him out to the right.
What a pass there, Keith. First and goal now on the 9. That was Holden Baldwin there. Up the middle, touchdown! How about that? And they're going nuts on the Bulldogs sideline right now. Right up the middle, Lucas Curtis, 10 yards to the house.
We're going to check the replay here. It's the same exact play that Turlock has ran now twice. It's Lucas Curtis on the end around, and all he does is just follow his blockers. Once he gets that seam, he steps in there. It's like when you dip your toe in the pool, Dustin, to make sure it's not too cold. That's what he did. But he dipped it in there, and he gets it in there. And now Turlock, it looks like, is going to go for 2.
You know what? They are, Keith. I disagree with that this early. I believe you need the extra point at some point, still being down by 9 here. I think this would have been the best time to go for 1. Save the 2 for later. They go for 2 on the rollout. Completes it. They're going to get the catch in the corner, and that missed extra point is all for naught. They got it back. 2-point conversion. That was huge, Keith,
and it's
because
Lucas Curtis.
If they missed that 2-point conversion, they're still down by 9.
Curtis again. They're going to bootleg Kozakowicz. They tried this in the first half. They didn't have a whole lot of success because balls were behind. Kozakowicz has found his accuracy in the second half now, and that play right there defines it. He hit Curtis on a very, very tight window.
3 balls we've seen him throw perfectly in the second half. It makes me scratch my head a bit, Keith. What were they doing in the first half? I'm sure Coach Peterson is thinking the same thing. It's like, okay, my game plan was a little bit off. We tried to run it up the gut on them today like they were doing to us. Wasn't working. Got no gain on the ground, really, so far. They go to the air attack, and they've gotten 2 deep balls.
Now the dynamic has changed because Sheldon, when we started the second half, had a 21-0 advantage. Now, we haven't even gotten down to less than 10 minutes in the third quarter, and Sheldon's lead is now 7. It's a 1-score game. Turlock just got the biggest turnover of the game. Let's see if they can continue it here on defense.
Sheldon with the kick return here. He's going to find some room on the sideline. Good job there to get a decent return. But as you just said, Keith, not even 2 minutes have gone by in the third quarter. And from what we saw, a dominated football game has turned around so far and completely been the opposite in the second half. You know, you got to feel for the Huskies a little bit, though. They didn't do much wrong. They got that long drive that they didn't stop. But then after that, I mean, the fumble on the kick return, that's kind of a fluke. You know, so that's bad luck for them here.
And if I'm Sheldon, I have to wonder, did that time on the sideline without the football kind of cool off my offense? We're going to find out here. They were rolling in the first half, D-Badge.
All the momentum on the Bulldog side. Let's see if they can get a 3 and out. Going to be a run up the middle. Nice break off of a couple tackles, battling forward for a couple extra yards. Give him about 6, and those are 6 hard-fought yards there on first down.
And it's Layden Johnson, who didn't get the ball in the first half. They give him his first touch of the game. Johnson was the guy who almost had the interception in the first half that would have made it 21-0 at the time. But they give Johnson his first carry of the game, and he looks, like you said, it's like a pinball. He just bounces his way around, he embraces the contact, and he pushes forward for a big gain.
2nd and 1. They actually gave him 9 on that. They're going to make a throw deep. He's got a man, and he overthrows him again. Oh, no. That's the second easy touchdown we would have had here on the long ball. They don't get it. I see 4 people for the Bulldogs celebrating in the backfield, so I must actually missed on the back, and they might have had a big lick on the quarterback there, Keith.
And that they did. Salinas, once again, has Mike Graves and the defense torched. All he's got to do is lay that ball out there in Mike Graves' region. It can be to the left, it can be to the right, it can be in the middle. All that matters is you get that ball somewhere close to Mike Graves, and maybe he saw and heard those footsteps because he didn't take a shot. Maybe that shot might have catapulted the ball a little farther than it should have gone.
3rd and 1. They're going to try and run it. They're not going to get it. Stopped at the line. How about that? See if they give him the spot, but he did not look like he went forward at all there. That defensive line got into the backfield right off the snap, Keith, and that's something we haven't seen most of this game.
Now here comes Turlock.
4th down. Are they going to go for it on their own 40 here? Keith, it looks like they are. I understand this because it's only a half a yard and they've really gotten a good push most of this game. However, if you don't get this here, you're in danger of really going down in this game.
Turlock has got to win the battle.
No, oh, he steps him at the line, but from the official's look of it, he might have gotten it. Turlock sideline a little happy, but I don't think they're going to give that one to Turlock. He only needed about a half yard. I think he got it, Keith. There's not enough celebration from the Bulldogs for me to think that he didn't. Yeah, they're going to give him the 1st down. 4th and inches. So on the last 2 plays there, they only needed a yard. They had trouble getting it. That shows me something. That shows me that, A, the Bulldogs' defensive line is finally putting together the effort that's needed here in this game on the run. They've really started to buckle down. Sheldon might have to start completing some of these passes, Keith. Another run here and another nothing doing. That's what we've seen here this past quarter or so.
That's what won Sheldon the first half, which was winning the battle up front. Turlock may have had their best stand on that 4th and short from my vantage point in the game so far. They got good push up front. It was just a battle of 4th and inches, and Sheldon was able to get maybe 1 foot farther than Turlock. But nonetheless, I have been very impressed with Turlock coming out here. Defense has been tough. The offense obviously has been clicking, and they've gotten a turnover that swung the game.
2nd and 8. They're going to have to make a pass. He's going to be sacked in the backfield. Down he goes. What a sack there. That is Jake Dirks combined with Casey Carr. And down goes Salinas, well in the backfield. Bring up 3rd and long. All the momentum here.
Dirksy's going to ride the wave of the lineman, and he's just going to come in and swim up the middle. It's too much for the offensive line at Sheldon to plan for because it is a reverse. It's a switch. So all Dirksy, the senior, has to do is ride that backside of his defensive lineman. He comes right through the middle, full steam ahead, and we talked about the battle of the trenches. Turlock now is starting to win that.
3rd and 19. That was our first sack of the game. They're going to attempt a screen pass. He's able to catch it, but all the pursuit there, nothing doing. Actually, did they even give him the catch there, or was that incomplete? Incomplete. Clock is stopped. It's going to bring up a 4th and 19 there. And a huge stop for the Bulldogs, Keith. And, well, picture me surprised, or color me surprised, as they say. I really did not see this coming. I'm glad to see we've got a good ball game, but Sheldon Huskies, they really need to turn it around right now. At this moment, from what I'm seeing in front of me, I see the Turlock Bulldogs are going to be able to come out and maybe win this game if they keep playing this way, Keith. Punt here, going to have a nice return on the outside. Outruns the tackle. He's still going. We have a holding penalty down the sideline, all the way to the other side of the field. Give him about a 45-yard return there up the sideline. Probably going to come back on a holding penalty, but all of the electric plays we're seeing right now are coming from the Bulldogs, Keith, and we still have a quarter and a half left to play.
Lynn does a great job on this punt return of grabbing the ball cleanly. It's 2 bounces, he snags it, and he's off on the left side. He rides that sideline. The only problem is, like it's been all day almost for Turlock, penalties have killed them. Another big play that would have put them in great field position, Padge, that so far is going to come back.
Yeah, and so far today, penalty-wise, that's definitely been a killer for the Bulldogs. The Huskies had the advantage there. Only one penalty on their side. They've played a very sound game penalty-wise, have the Huskies.
Yes, but you know what, Patch? The one thing I have going for me, if I'm Kozakowicz, I just had the best drive of the game a while back, and I converted a 2-point conversion on the next drive. My offense is going good. I trust them to keep moving the chains.
Going to be Curtis again here. Breaks off a tackle, cuts it back. Not much doing there. Only going to give him about a yard or two. Good pursuit on the defense there. That will be a nice tackle.
I tell you what, I don't know what it was.
Joseph.
I don't know what it was, Patch, but James Peterson went to his locker room, and I guess one of the main points of emphasis was, I got to get the ball in Lucas Curtis's hand. He's ran that same end around now at least 4 or 5 times. I don't have the exact number on that, but he's ran it a good chunk of change, and it's worked. He's going to try it again.
No, this is going to be a fake to Kozakowicz. Up the middle, cuts back, 1 minute left to beat. He hits him with the stiff arm. How about that? Knocks him to the ground. He says, I won't be stopped inside the 20-yard line.
We're going to take a look on the replay once we get this.
40-yard
Here it
run.
is. Kozakowicz, they're going to go an end around. Only this time he's going to keep it on the RPO and go straight up the middle. Then he has the presence of mind to keep going. And that picks him up at least 10 or 15 yards. And it puts you from what could have been at the Sheldon 30 to now it's 1st and goal. A great option and a great decision by Jonah Kozakowicz to keep that football. Looking for Curtis on the end around. They've been having him do it all day. He takes it up the middle this time for a huge gain.
See, Keith, I think Kozakowicz heard us in the first half saying the wrong quarterback, and it kind of lit a fire under him. Because look at what he's doing now. Curtis on the outside. Give him about, an extra battle for 4 or 5 there. So instead of a 2 or 3 yard gain, he fights forward for the extra couple of yards. And the Bulldogs are on the line of tying this game here, Keith, in just 6 minutes plus in the second half.
This is where we find out what these Sheldon Huskies are made of. They had a 21-0 lead. Now they have a 21-14 lead, and they're on the verge of having this game tied up. How do they respond to this adversity? Is the defense going to make a play that can swing the momentum back in their favor? We're going to find out shortly.
2nd and 6. Kozakowicz, nothing doing there. Steps through the hole, and he's going to run for the first down and then some. Kozakowicz, a one-man band right now, Keith, taking over this game. Coming out in the second half, looking sharp. That's going to bring up 1st and goal, and right now, they're the ones that seem to not be stopped right now, Keith.
I told you at halftime, Kozakowicz, if you give him the ability to, he's going to run the football. He's got the speed and the athleticism. Right here, it's another RPO, but he takes it himself this time, and he goes off that left side. They've had no answer for Kozakawicz's feet. I would keep running him, get him that football as much as possible in his hands running it.
Run up the middle there. That one's going to be stuffed. Nice job there for the Huskies defense. And at this point of the game, I don't know, Keith, if they get to a 4-down spot, I don't know if they kick 3. This might be a 4-down territory because 7 or 4 is not really much of a difference in the scoreboard right now.
But if I'm Peterson, I have to trust my offense, Padge. That's been dominant so far in the second half. Keep in mind, we still got 4 minutes and some change left in the third quarter. So if I get a field goal here, I still got a whole nother football quarter left to play to get that lead now. And my defense had one of its best stands of the game so far on the last stand.
You're right, Keith. We'll just have to see if it gets to 4th down. Kozakowicz, nice effort there, but he's not going to get much of a gain. A couple of very good plays for the Huskies defense as soon as they get down to the goal line, finally showing their first life here in the second half. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and goal now on about the 8-yard line. So not much of a gain in the last couple of plays here. 3rd and goal. And, yeah, you know what, I do agree with you. I think that if they don't get down to like the 1 or 2 yard line here, they probably will kick the field goal just because of how much momentum they have, and adding points to your score cannot lose momentum.
I don't have a whole lot of money, but if I did, I would bet that Kozakowicz is going to have the football in his hands in some form or fashion. He's going to try to run this in.
Yes. Kozakowicz drops back, steps up in the pocket, and he's going to go down. Nice sack there for the defense.
Okay, so good defensive stand by Sheldon. That's what we want. We bended, but we didn't break. Now, if I'm Turlock,
looks
that's
like we
okay.
have a man down here was actually who committed the sack. Gennaro Bright there in on the tackle. I hope that he is okay right now. Looks like he might have hurt his leg a little bit. It's going to bring up a 4th down and a mile, though. I'm going to replay this sack here.
And this is a great play by the Sheldon defense. Bright's going to get in there at the end.
No, Bright actually was not in that sack.
Yeah, it didn't look
there.
like that was him. That it.
Solomon Torres was the one in there with that sack, and he's the one actually down right now. We hope that he's okay. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Turlock High School Quarterback Club. We also got meeting rooms on demand, a unique alternative to hotel meeting rooms with locations in Fresno, Bay Area, and Las Vegas. American Asphalt, taking care of business. Photo Pro Sports, specializing in team and individual banners, posters, t-shirts, and more. We've also got Red Brick Bar and Grill hosting tonight's watch party in Turlock, California. Pretty cool. If you guys are out in Turlock right now, you got another exciting 4th quarter coming up. I say go down to Red Brick.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody who's watching on the live stream, wherever you may be. You are in for a great ending, Dustin, like we are right here just watching it live, and we can't wait to bring it to you. But like I was saying, if I'm Turlock, okay, no harm, no foul.
Should be kicking 3, right?
Well, it looks like I think they're going to go for it, Dustin.
4th and goal on the 15. It looks like they are going for it.
Gutsy call by Peterson. Can it pay off?
Throws over the middle. Incomplete pass. And the Huskies hold them on downs. That's the second time in this game we've seen both coaches decide not to kick a field goal. Any thoughts?
Well, they went back to the guy, Dustin, who got them this far. It's a slant route, left side. You're going to see Curtis break free, and there's a little contact there on the defense in the defensive backfield, but a great job by whoever that defensive back is to get in there and get a hand on it. Curtis also a little disturbed there during that play, but nonetheless, Turlock's defense still stout.
Run up the middle there, nothing doing, and another run for the Huskies stopped, and it seems like the Bulldogs have finally figured out the ground game.
And Dustin, I want to harp back on that 4th down play because as you noticed, it was near that left hash. So maybe Peterson didn't feel comfortable enough to allow his kicker that attempt, because what happens is if I'm kicking from the left hash, I've got to go diagonally kind of to get that ball in there. If they were in the middle, it would have been a different story, but they're on the left hash. That might be a little more challenging than just right down the pipe.
Yeah, you might be right. That might be a thought, because 4th and 15, you have to think there was an issue with that field goal. And we've got another injured player here down for the Huskies as this game is progressing. They've had a little bit of trouble with that. Might be a test to the conditioning. United need to be better conditioned here to be able to get through a 4-quarter ball game without having a player go down on every play.
No, yeah, and if I'm Sheldon, I cannot go in prevent mode now and try to true clock. Obviously, it does not take a rocket scientist or even the great Elon Musk to understand, Dustin, that there's still plenty of time left in this game.
Yes, definitely, Keith. Turlock High School Quarterback Club. Join the Turlock High Bulldogs for Quarterback Club for breakfast buffet at Latif's in Turlock at 8 a.m. Saturday. Come meet and hear from our players and coaches about all 3 games.
Yeah, I've been to Latif's. It's a great spot. I was actually visiting Turlock, and it's really great. So, great food there. Trust me, I know.
Wow. That's interesting to know. Maybe I'll have to check it out next time at Turlock.
You gotta.
2nd and 8 here, run up the middle. He breaks off a tackle. That's going to give him the first down. He fights off a couple yards, or fights off a couple defenders to get that first down there. Good run.
This run by Tyrell Smith defines what he's brought to the table all game. It's right up the middle. There's no secrecy to it. They're going to give it to him right there. He makes a great move to cut back to the inside, think he was going left, and then the ability. We talk about it. What makes him special? Keep his legs moving.
That's the 3rd play in a row, folks, that we've had an injured Husky. That is definitely a red flag. The other 2 got up pretty quickly. However, the man down right now seems to be writhing in pain. Is that Smith?
I think that might be Tyrell Smith. I don't want to say when I'm not sure just yet.
Yeah, we can't see his number just yet. If that's Smith and he's out of this game with the momentum that is already on the Bulldogs side, Keith, I got to give them the edge if Smith is out of this game right now.
Well, Smith got some grown man yards there. He really trucked it forward. It could have been plausible that he might have caught that foot somewhere. I can't see too good, but it looks like maybe they're trying to stretch his leg out there. He might have caught a cramp. Who knows?
This seems a little more serious than our previous 2 injuries, though, Keith. They got up pretty quickly. I saw when he went down, it looked a little bit different. He was writhing around on the ground a bit, and now the officials and coaches are out there, and we have quite a big pause. We do hope this young man is all right. We will confirm or deny if this is Smith or not. If so, that would be a huge blow to the Huskies here heading into the final quarter of this game. I don't know, Keith. This looks pretty bad. It's not moving too much out there.
And not good if you're Sheldon. Obviously, Tyrell Smith has been a huge part of your offense. And what a day he's had so far. And I hope he can continue to keep playing or that he's A-okay.
Yeah, he's got to be well over 100 yards by now, I'd imagine, with just how much they've been feeding him the rock all game. 3 touchdowns on the ground, as we mentioned.
And he really makes everything go for Sheldon. He's not the entire offense, obviously, but he has been the guy, Dustin, that has moved the chains every single time that Sheldon has needed a big play.
Keith, you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Sheldon use Graves similarly to Turlock using Curtis. Graves is very athletic. He returns their kicks and their punts. You know, why not try him on those little end arounds or those quick out routes? You know, we've seen a couple long balls to Graves, but I don't think they're utilizing him enough on the offense. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think for Graves, as Smith looks like he is going to, he's up, and let's hope he's okay as he's trying to walk this off. Walking backwards right now maybe to test that leg. If Smith is unable to keep playing, that is, or just to come back in this game, that is a big blow to Sheldon because he does set the table for Salinas on the play action to Graves or Janelle. And they haven't hit a whole lot of those today, Dustin.
No.
But I think going forward, if they're going to win.
I wonder why he's walking backwards there, Keith.
Oh, no
Must
clue,
it be the type of injury he has, I'm guessing.
Well, we're going to see now if Francisco Salinas can make that deep ball that he has not been able to make all game. He's going to have to make some throws for Sheldon to win this if Smith's not going to play.
I agree. Run up the middle there for the backup and nothing doing. Bulldogs this past quarter or so have really stuffed the run. And with the Huskies on their backup running back, Keith, like I said, this is a big blow to Sheldon. All the momentum right now is with the Bulldogs. They're 1 score away from tying this game.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what Sheldon does now because they don't have their primary tailback in there. So what they're going to have to do is rely on some of those athletes on the corners, like a Janelle or a Graves. Can Salinas get them the ball? He struggled to do that so far.
2nd down and 11, a throw there, nothing doing. Not sure exactly what the game plan was on that play there, Keith. But that's going to bring up a 3rd and long, and the Huskies' offense has completely gone away here in this 3rd quarter.
Well, they were trying to work the flats. They had that tight end come out in motion on the right side. It is a throw that Frank Salinas can make in his wheelhouse, but just like tonight, for whatever reason, he has not been able to hit targets. And when he hasn't been able to hit targets, they've either been a little outside, up high, or just overthrown.
Bulldogs sideline is having a blast over there. The coach turned around to the fans and telling them to get up. We're going to have a timeout called here from the Huskies on the 3rd and 11, trying to set up a good play. I don't mind the timeout because really the whole momentum is gone for them right now. This broadcast brought to you in part by Turlock High Quarterback Club. Meeting Rooms on Demand, a unique alternative to hotel meeting rooms with locations in Fresno, Bay Area, and Las Vegas. American Asphalt, taking care of business. Photo Pro Sports, specializing in team and individual banners, posters, t-shirts, and more. Also, Red Brick Bar and Grill, hosting tonight's watch party in Turlock, California. Cost-effective advertising to market your business on NorCal Sports TV. Contact Dion at NorCalSportsTV.com, 888-350-4070, NorCal Sports TV. Well, we're nearing the end of the 3rd quarter here, Keith, and I don't know about you, but I am, for one, a little bit surprised at what we've seen so far, just because the first half was the complete opposite of this.
Well, and for Sheldon, you got to keep in mind that they had all that momentum. They were able to get key defensive stops, and Turlock wasn't hitting their strides on offense. Now that they are, it's a different ball game, and Sheldon's going to have to be able to continue to hit on offense.
Oh, wow, I thought that ball was down. 3rd and 11, it's not going to get the job done. Keith, on a 3rd and 11, do you like an end-around trickery there? I don't. I think they should have gone for a pass to get the first down. They give him maybe a 2-yard gain there. I don't like that play call.
Well, I don't know about the play call. I think the intention is right. It's 3rd and long, so you have some flexibility to try a trick play. And so they finally do what Turlock has done with Curtis. They give the ball to one of their athletes, Michael Graves. He had a look, just could not convert, got tripped up.
Here comes a punt, and it's shanked off the side of his foot. He's going to get a good bounce. Is it still in bounds? Oh, my. How about the luck of that? Give him an extra, 20 yards there because he was able to squeeze the sideline, Keith.
Well, Elijah Pierce is not a kicker by trade. He is listed as a tight end or a linebacker, but with most high school teams, what you have is you'll have a kid who can kick. As we see here on the 3rd and long, the end around to Graves. He had a look for a minute. Great hurdle on the linebacker, but just could not have an end or a seam. And now what we're seeing, like I told you before, Dustin, Turlock is starting to win that battle up front. And what that does is it gives you room to breathe. Your quarterback can drop back or run the way he's been doing, and you can hit some of these passes that you weren't hitting the first half.
First down play to Curtis there. And see now, similar to what we see on the other side, the Huskies are finally getting wise to what they're trying to do on the Bulldogs' offensive side. See, the first half, the Huskies were able to run it up the middle with nothing but success until the Bulldogs started stopping it. Now here we see the 3rd quarter. The Bulldogs were having success with Curtis on that end around, but the last couple of times he's tried it, hasn't gotten anything. So they're going to have to mix it up here, Keith, and they're going to have to try something a little bit different. Curtis in motion again, a hard count. That was actually a false start. Half the offensive line moved on that. They're not going to get a call. Going to be a run there up the middle, and he's going to get stuffed right at the point of attack there. Nice play from Janelle Bright. Says not today, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and long, and just like that, the last 5 plays, the Huskies have stood strong on defense. Somebody finally got through to them. Defensive coordinator possibly finally said, hey, our offense is not clicking right now. We're going to have to do the job. They held them on the goal line. Now they have a 3rd and 12 here, Keith. Looking good.
They go up the middle to Kyle Rumayor, who is a load, 185 pounds. They wanted to go straight up the middle. It did not work, and that is going to signal the end of the 3rd quarter. So now you've got one last quarter, Dustin, and you're facing a big 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd and 12. Huskies would love to get this ball back, work on the clock, and go put some points on the board to kind of, put their mark back on this game. But for the Bulldogs, though, they just want to keep in it. Only down by a touchdown here. Would love to get the first down. This broadcast brought to you in part by Turlock High School Quarterback Club. It's also brought by Meeting Rooms On Demand, a unique alternative to hotel meeting rooms with locations in Fresno, Bay Area, and Las Vegas. American Asphalt, taking care of business. Photo Pro Sports, specializing in team and individual banners, posters, t-shirts, and more. Also, Red Brick Bar and Grill, hosting tonight's watch party in Turlock, California. Hope you guys are enjoying it if you're there tonight, enjoying a nice meal or some drinks with some family and friends and watching us. We do appreciate them for showing this here, their live stream. Friday night, Keith, they could be playing, lots of other sports on their live stream down there at the Red Brick, but they're playing us, and that's very cool of them.
That's very cool, and we are in a very, very cool and good game from what this second half started to where it is now at the start of the 4th quarter. And I got to tell you, win or lose, Jonah Kozakowicz has nothing to hang his head about at quarterback or the rest of his offense or team for that matter. They have come out and they have answered the bell at every turn. Now you are facing a 3rd and 10 from your own 23, and you got to convert here to keep the drive moving. And if they do, look out, because we've seen in the past, one connection leads to another and another.
3rd and 10 here, Keith. Kozakowicz back. Steps up in the pocket. He's got some room. He's going to run. He's going to battle for that first down.
I think he got it. I think
he's a yard short, Keith. They're pushing. They're saying you got it. Let's see what they do with the sticks. That's your best tell. I don't see the sticks moving yet. Oh, he's short. Look, he's short there by about a yard.
And I tell you again, another great effort. He's going to slank around. He wanted a block there. I wonder if he got it.
They did give him the first down. On 3rd and 10, Keith. How about that?
Jonah Kozakowicz, whenever his team has needed a big play, he said, I will do it myself, because he knows as a senior quarterback, that comes with the territory. You got to make a play every now and then on your own that you need.
New set of downs. Curtis again. He's got a hole up the middle. Another first down, and Curtis is breaking off tackles. He's pushing that line. He's still going. Give him an extra 7 yards. He's still not down. He is still battling. Keep the pile moving. 15-yard pile move there, Keith. How about that?
We're going to look at this replay, and it's going to be unreal. It is Lucas Curtis turning into Earl Campbell. He literally bounces off at least 3/4 of the Sheldon team. Then he's not done. He keeps moving the pile, and then it's Turlock's offense who keeps going with him, and he literally drags that pile, as we see a close-up here, for about another 10 or 15 yards, like you elaborated, Dustin.
Yeah, about 13, 14 yards past.
And for the kids at home, that is called moving your feet continuously and continuing until they blow the whistle. A great example there.
Yeah, Curtis and Kozakowicz taking over on offense in the second half in this game, really. Both of those young men, bright futures ahead of them, Keith.
We're going to call them Casey and the Sunshine Band. K for Kozakowicz and C for Curtis.
Nice pass there from Kozakowicz, not able to be hauled in, but I like that idea on 1st and 10. Instead of trying to run it, they're going right down the field, Keith. Baldwin wasn't able to hold on.
I want to change that to Casey and the Turlock Band. That sounds way better. But yeah, Turlock's offense right now is moving at will, and this is the most important part of the game for Sheldon's defense. They've bended, but they didn't break on the last one. Let's see what they can do here.
Oh, a fake from Kozakowicz, going to try to take it up the middle. Nothing doing, though. Good job for the Huskies defense, and he's actually going to lose a yard. He's going to bring up 3rd and long. Feels like 4-down territory, being on the 40-yard line. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on what happens on this play to decide if they punt or not.
Now, this is the most important 3rd down of the game for Sheldon. The last time they had him on 3rd and long, way, way back over there, Dustin, they were not able to contain Kozakowicz from breaking out of the pocket and scrambling for the first down. They've got to make sure they contain him in that box so that he doesn't burn him for another big first down conversion.
3rd and 9 here, Keith. Kozakowicz drops back for the pass. Not a good pass there. I don't think he took a long enough time to find somebody there. He had a predetermined destination after the snap there, Keith, and that's where you got to, as a quarterback, sometimes, be able to change it up on the spot, because that wasn't really nothing to do there. And on 4th and 9 on the 40, I would punt, but it looks like they're going for it here.
Kozakowicz made sure he wanted to get that ball out on the slant route as soon as possible, but he didn't allow his receiver Baldwin to gain separation, and he rushed that pass. Huge 4th down.
They are going for it here, Keith. 4th and 9, going deep. Nobody there, but there's contact. No call on the contact there. Looked like pretty clear PI, Keith.
Curtis,
right in front of us there.
Curtis took a little bit of a walk there, because I know in his heart of hearts he won't admit it, because he is a gentleman and a scholar and a professional, but he knew there was a little bit of contact. Kozakowicz is going to go and fling it right down the middle. There's contact right there at the point of the ball.
That's a PI, Keith. And you see what the official behind it was not looking at it. He was facing the other direction.
Well, that might have been the case, but regardless,
turnover on downs.
A huge momentum sink for Turlock, because they went down there as fast as they could, and they come away with no points again.
Run up the middle there, going to give him about 6 yards. And is that Smith back into the game here?
Well,
it looks like it. No.
It's Layden Johnson again, number 20. And now if you're Sheldon, Dustin, you're in a situation where, okay, now we want to run some clock. There's 9 minutes. I would like, if in Sheldon's case, they would probably like to run the clock down, maybe take 5 minutes off this clock and get some points, make it a double-digit game again. and get that cushion you need for some insurance points.
Yeah, they would love a field goal here, Keith, and they've already got great field position. Just a few first downs would get them where they need to be. There's one on 2nd and 4. A nice run to the outside there. It's going to give him 6 yards, and that's going to be Janelle on the carry, Dylan Janelle, wide receiver. But we've seen him have a few handoffs in the backfield, but hasn't really done much with it. He's actually going to be short of the first down here on the replay.
So now a huge 3rd and short here. 3rd and 2 to be specific. If I'm Sheldon, it's no surprise. I'm going to run this football. And I think that might be Tyrell Smith back in the game.
It is, Keith. And you know where the ball is going. Smith with the handoff, and he's going to get stuffed in the backfield. Not today. The defense of the Bulldogs in the second half has been running rampant. Has complete turnaround. They were down 21-0 in the first half. Haven't given up a point in the second half. And here comes the punting unit, Keith.
It is Tyrell Smith up the middle. This has been the bread and butter for Sheldon. Only this time, it's the second half. And Turlock's defensive line on the first level gets good leverage. They push the offensive line back, and Smith basically runs into a brick wall of his own black jerseys. 4th down, and now Sheldon punting to Turlock again.
Let's see if they do a fake here on 4th and 2 at midfield. It's a good time for one, Keith. I'm looking for one. Nope. They're going to play with their defense. I don't mind that. Their defense has had a good game, Keith. Punt fielded there. Breaks to the outside. He couldn't have gone a ways. He's got blockers to the 40, to the 50, all the way to the 48-yard line. A 40-yard return. And the momentum all on the side of the Bulldogs. The Sheldon Huskies have to worry.
Anthony Frias, the punt returner, Dustin, has been everywhere. He's almost had an interception, and he's had some pretty big runs. And now, in the kicking game, he gets the biggest punt return of the game that puts Turlock in great field position with 7:54 to go. And now here comes Turlock, relatively in the same spot they were a couple minutes ago to start this drive and try to tie this game.
Yeah, Frias with the interception on the tip ball earlier, Keith. And as you mentioned, he's been all over the place offensively now and on the kick game. Kozakowicz got another chance. Run to the outside. Decent run there, but it's also a good stop from the defense. Only give him about 3 yards. This whole second half, Keith, has been dominated by the Bulldogs. The Huskies have no points. They've given up 14. Haven't had really much go right. Turnover battle in this game being won by the Bulldogs 2-0. Penalty battle being also won by the Bulldogs. That's not something they would like, though. Have another injured Husky down here. And that looks like Janelle Bright. Janelle Bright.
Ain't this been a great football game, though, Dustin?
Yeah,
It's been back and forth. Sheldon had the upper hand in the first half, and then here come those Turlock Bulldogs, led by Jonah Kozakowicz and Lucas Curtis, the dynamic duo, and they come storming back 14 points. They've cut it to 7 points. We still got 7 minutes to go. It has just been a great night of football. These are two teams from different sides of the area, but nonetheless, they both have played their hearts out. Whoever wins, whoever loses, no time to hang your hat. You've had a great game of football. Now we're going to see, though, can Turlock tie this thing all the way up?
2nd and 5 on the 44. Going to be another run here. Kozakowicz going to bust it outside. Has a little bit of space. However, I don't think he's going to get much of a gain, if any. No gain. 3rd down and 5. Good job there from the Huskies defense. Pretty much in a bend but don't break mode right now. Trying to hang on to this lead. And I do have to say, I kind of disagree with the neither team will hold their heads. I feel if Sheldon loses this game, Keith, it would be a huge blow to their season, just the way the game has progressed.
Well, they did have a 21-point lead, and that is gone. That will be a kicker if that is the end result.
Let's see here. Kozakowicz
No way.
on the roll, finds a guy. Looks like it might be picked. It's not. Ball is dropped. A sure interception. See, that's one thing we've also seen from the Huskies tonight. We've had a few dropped picks and a few dropped catches. They really need to work on squeezing that ball into the breadbasket, as you were mentioning earlier. That should have been an INT. Instead, it's a 4th down and 5. Here's a replay of it.
It's
See,
Clayton
look at this.
Hunt who has it right in his wheelhouse. He just can't make the catch, but nonetheless, this is that could be a big play because I think Turlock has the logistics and the idea of going for it on 4th down. They have no interest in kicking.
No. I think they're going to do a run here with Kozakowicz somehow. He's been doing it all game. Yep, look at that. I called it, and is he going to get the first down? No, he's going to get stopped. He's going to get slammed to the ground, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Great job there on defense. Janelle Bright with the tackle, and that is the 3rd straight turnover on downs for the Bulldogs. Keith, the Huskies defense has been a little ragged in the second half, but the last 3 drives has stood strong and given their team the chance to win this game. However, Keith, they're going to have to do something on offense here. Otherwise, the Bulldogs are going to get the ball right back.
Turlock went back to the bread and butter. Let Kozakowicz try and make a play. Now they have got to rely on their defense to get a big stop here.
Going deep. He's got a man open, and he's got the bomb. That'll be the dagger right there, Keith. 58-yard touchdown pass. That's what they've been waiting for all game, and they're finally able to get it. Graves into the end zone.
It's Janelle right here on the fake. Salinas has overthrown both him and Graves a couple of times tonight, but this time he doesn't. He puts it literally right on the money, and you see the end result. Janelle dropped one in the end zone earlier. Graves overthrew him Salinas overthrew him earlier, and now finally hook up on the play action. Great pocket awareness by Salinas, and a great dart to Mr. Dylan Janelle. To the house it goes, 50-plus for Husky touchdown, and that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Extra point is blocked. 6:32, you still got a couple timeouts, or actually you have all your timeouts. There is enough time here, Keith. If they do what they did in the first 2 minutes of this half and score 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes, they have more than enough time.
You hit the nail on the head. There's plenty of time left for Turlock to tie this game up. What they're going to have to do on this next drive is get good field position to start this drive, whether it be by the kick return or whatnot. But you want to start this drive out on a place where you can make some plays. You don't want to start out from your own 10, and you want to probably be within the 30 or 40-yard line. But if I'm Turlock, I got to score fast, and then I got to get a huge stop on defense on the next one. But first things first, let's score as fast as we can, make it a one-possession game again. Then we'll worry about that.
Play of the game there, Keith, I'd have to say. That was the first time all game long that Sheldon has thrown the ball on first down. I've been mentioning that multiple times this game, Keith, that they've just continued to run it on first down, and they finally decide to mix it up with that play action. And if you noticed when we showed the replay, all 4 people in the secondary were fooled. Janelle had them beat all by 5 or 10 yards. Nobody was near him. They were all beat because they all assumed that it was going to be a running play, Keith.
And why would they not? Sheldon's been running the ball for about 80% of the game so far, Padge, and they have not been able to connect on long throws especially.
A little bit of an onside kick type thing here. Fielded, taken all the way out to the 40. So that's the 3rd kickoff in a row we've seen that happen. I'm guessing that's probably because we've seen the kick defense not be so good. They've had a couple of long kick returns, maybe. But look, they start on the 40-yard line, Keith. That's an excellent field position.
And I don't like the idea of what Sheldon did there. I want to push my enemy back as far as possible on this drive. And basically, they've given him a great field position to start. So Turlock gets away with a break there. Now let's see if they can put one in the end zone and get this back to a 1-score game as soon as possible.
Kozakowicz, he's had a couple of good long balls. Let's see if he can continue going that direction. There's going to be a run to Curtis, and he's got a lot of room on the outside there. Nice play. And they'll get out of bounds, too. It's only going to give him about 3 or 4 yards, though.
And Turlock is going to have to hurry up here. They've got to keep moving. This clock is about to go under 5 minutes shortly. You got to get your offense set up, and you got to get in your formation as soon as possible. There is no time for dilly-daddling. You got to get up to the line as soon as possible.
I thought he went out of bounds there, Keith. Apparently not. They left the clock ticking. Give him 5. Going to be another run here up the middle. I don't like that play call, Keith. Only give him a couple yards. They've run it 2 plays in a row there.
Yeah, and listen, the end arounds to Curtis were great, when you were within a touchdown. Now that you're within a two-score game, you're going to have to take some shots downfield and trust that Kozakowicz can move the football with his arm.
They give him
Because
the
you
first
cannot
down on
afford
that.
to lose any more time off this clock.
I don't see if we saw a penalty there. It didn't look like he got the yardage to gain, but they give him the first. A run play there. Nothing doing. No gain on the outside, Keith, and I don't know. I don't think there's enough time left in this ball game to play the ground game right now. I think they need to start hitting the air because they still have to score twice, and they got to consider they got to get the ball back on defense still. Got 50 yards left to go here. They get 3 yards there, a little bit of positive, but they really got to start working the ball down the field, Keith. And see if they do. Run on the outside, Curtis, and he gets tackled there. Nice tackle. Give him maybe a couple more yard gain. 3-yard gain there. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4.
But I don't like the walking back to the huddle. That's the thing that's driving me crazy. You're down 13 points, and it's under 5 minutes. Why are you walking back to the line of scrimmage? You got to get up there as soon as possible. There's got to be a pep in your step. I don't like the mindset right here for Turlock. You got to get up there, and you got to hurry, hurry, hurry.
I don't like the play calling either here, Keith. I like what you're saying, too. The clock management, play calling, they need to change it. 3rd and 4. Still have a long ways to go. Going to run it. Going to get the first down here. Nice play there from Kozakowicz. Nice. He battles for an extra yard. Ooh, maybe a late hit there.
And this is going to be key. If this is a first down, the clock stops.
Yep, it is first down. He got it on the initial push there.
And if I'm Sheldon High School, Padge, I like where I'm at. Don't do anything crazy. We'll play prevent. We'll let Kozakowicz beat us with the run.
Yep.
As long as it means we're not giving up 6.
Right. I agree with you. This is exactly what Sheldon wants with the clock here. If they get the touchdown, make them do it in a bunch of plays to where the clock is going to be their best friend. Kozakowicz going to need to get to the sideline. Oh, no. He had the right idea to hit the sideline, Keith, but then he thought maybe to step back. I don't know. Mental lapse there.
You've got to run out of bounds in that situation, or at least try to get to the sideline, because
he had the line. He was running out of bounds, but he just decided at that last moment to try to cut back and maybe make a move, which I understand, being that that's the type of player that he is, but you have to be a little bit more game savvy, and under 4 minutes left, you only got a 1-yard gain there, and in the past 5 plays of this drive, they've only gained 22 yards. 5 plays, 22 yards. It's already taken 2.5 minutes. Too much time. Going deep. One-on-one. Nice defense there. Incomplete pass. Justin Williams, the defensive back there. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9 now.
Well, Williams plays this great. It's a deep ball. It's a jump ball kind of to Harvey. Or excuse me, wrong player, my fault, not Harvey. But it's a deep ball to Baldwin, who is 6'3", one of the tallest players on the team in Turlock, and just a great play by Williams to get in there, hang in there, read the body language, and feel the body of Harvey down there. Just make a great play to contest that.
Clearly,
now a huge 4th down.
3rd and 9. But it's still 4-down territory, obviously, here. 3rd and 9. He's going to make a run up the middle. It's Kozakowicz. He's going to break off some tackles. Nice run there from Kozakowicz to gain an extra few yards. He's going to be about 2-3 yards short, make it much more manageable. You know, if this was a 1-score game, Keith, I would love this drive. I think this drive would be great because they're moving, they're doing good here, but being that it's a 13-point game, now with the clock where it's at here under 3 minutes, it's pretty much an onside kick situation. You do have all 3 of your timeouts, so yeah, if you stop them on 3 and out, then you're okay, but you still got to score too, which not going to happen at this pace. On 4th and 2, they're going to give them another run and give them about 4 yards and a first down. 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. Both teams happy with that play. Huskies love the clock draining.
I am shell-shocked that they gave Curtis the ball, let alone let him go up the middle. It is a straight draw play. Make no mistake about it on this play. It is up the gut, and it is a play that defines this game. If you don't get that, it's a game over.
Right. Another running play here, Keith. To the outside, I like this one. That's a nice run. Might even give him the first down on that. No. Ooh, close. It was on the 24, and I see the official spotted on the 14, just inside the 14. Another first down. Now, that was a good play there.
Yeah, it stops the clock, Padge.
There's time here, barely.
With 2:24 to go, you've got all 3 of your timeouts left if you're Turlock. So if you score here and you're able to pin Sheldon back on the kickoff,
Yep.
that is good luck for you.
You may still kick an onside kick, though. I don't know. We'll just have to see if they can score first, Keith. Run to the outside,
Curtis. On the outside.
You got to get out of bounds. He does not. He stays in bounds, and that clock is their enemy right now. While they've dominated this whole second half, minus 1 play, Keith. And see, that's the thing that's kind of a kicker to me. It's been a great game, and I think Turlock right now kind of deserves the win the way they've came to play it this second half. But that 1 play, just goes to show all the hard work that Sheldon had in the first half is not forgotten, because they had that lead already. They had the cushion to be able to maybe misplay a little bit, and that long 58-yard touchdown to Janelle is really putting this game in the hole here. Going to go for a pass to the end zone. Holding, and he caught it. I think that might be a touchdown. It is. Double PI, he says, doesn't matter. He's got 2 guys draped on him, and he still squeezes it for the touchdown.
Well, this is a heck of a play. It's Garrett Fountain, the defensive end, via Mr. Kozakowicz. There is a penalty, so we're going to wait for this.
2 penalty flags. They were both PI on Fountain there. Fountain committed to go to San Diego State. I was talking to the head of the quarterbacks club, Steve, earlier, and he was telling me about that.
And
wow, Keith. So there's a chance here. They've got all their timeouts, as we were just mentioning. So, yes, you can still kick it deep, and if you stop them on that first set of downs, then you'll have about a minute and a half left.
Sheldon had a defensive lineman in the backfield that was in pursuit of Kozakowicz. Kozakowicz had a great ability to get away on the bootleg and find Fountain in the corner of the end zone. Great job by Fountain to hold on to that
ball. Big extra point here, Keith. Nails it. Extra point there. That's a new kicker, Caleb Ramirez, tight end linebacker, also kicking here. So, 27-21, a minute and 41. We got ourselves a ball game here.
Okay, you did what you needed to do if you're Turlock. You got the 7 to cut the lead back to a 1-possession game. Now here comes the tricky part. You've had a little bit of trouble in the first half winning the battle up front. You've corrected that in the second half. Make no mistake about it. Sheldon is going to want to melt clock. Turlock obviously has their timeouts in their possession. They've got all 3. So you need to get a stop on defense and make sure that you don't waste as much time as possible on that clock. Also,
1 first down, game over.
Yes, and you've got to be able to get pressure up on that defensive line and beat those offensive linemen for Sheldon, who for a majority of the game have played pretty good.
They have, Keith, and the second half has been the opposite of the first half. The Bulldogs have come out and played absolutely amazing, and right now, Keith, we would have a tie game, 21-21, if it wasn't for that 1 play, 58-yard on first down, the first play of the drive, touchdown pass to Janelle. Really, the only offense they've had this whole second half for the Huskies, and that is the difference maker in the game right now. Could be a tie game, really, here, Keith.
It's tough if you're Turlock, because there's going to be a couple plays you look back on, win or lose in this situation, and say, man, if we had executed those, maybe we're not in a position where we're down 6 with less than 2 minutes to play, but you can't worry about those right now. You got to put your best foot forward on defense.
See if we get an onside kick. We do not get an onside kick here. He's going to kick it deep. Ball's bobbled. Oh, he's all the way in the end zone. This could be a safety. Oh, no. Oh, my. This could be a 105-yard kickoff return. Down the sideline. Untouched. See you later. Oh, my gosh. How about that, Keith? He bobbled that ball, rolled all the way around, looked like he might have been stopped in the end zone for a safety. Instead, he goes 102 yards up the field, right by the last line of the defense.
Tyrell Smith is going to lose this football in the end zone. He's going to fret for a minute. He's going to pick it up. He's going to do what Deshaun Jackson did in the Miracle of the Meadowlands and just get 1 step. That's all he needs is 1 step. And then he turns on the burners. And literally no one on Turlock's kicking team can touch him. Tyrell Smith, 3 touchdowns and a kick return touchdown to boot. That is 4 touchdowns. He compiles nearly almost 30 points by himself Tyrell Smith, have a day.
Yeah, how about that play there from Tyrell Smith? That is just nuts. It really, if he had not gotten by that first guy, he could have been stopped for a safety right there.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
feast your eyes on Sheldon High School's football team. The fastest growing economic transport stock on the rise when it comes to the Delta League in the Elk Grove Unified School District. And Joe Catalico, 8 wins in 2016, 9 wins in 2017, and rest assured tonight, he's on his way to win number 3 in the 2018 campaign. This team is only going to get better from here. And if I'm Turlock, I got to be kicking myself, Dustin, because I had a lot of opportunities to win this game tonight that could have gone either way.
Yeah, you know what? Of course, that's amazing to see, and I love to watch that play, but it kind of bums me out because I was really looking forward to seeing that last set of downs right there to see if they were able to get that stop, but we're never going to get to see it now. I think they might have been able to get the ball back.
I am just amazed at how well Tyrell Smith has played tonight. They need to send this tape out to everybody in the area for Mr. Tyrell Smith. This has been arguably his finest performance in a Sheldon Huskies uniform. And you just see the speed. You just see the ability with one hesitation move to flip the game on its hedges. And I told you when he was down earlier, if Tyrell Smith is not in this game, Sheldon's chance is slim. But because he's in there and because he can still move fine, this game is all wrapped up now. And it's all because of the ability of the field vision and the speed and the athletic ability of Tyrell Smith. Incredible night. Incredible night.
Yes, definitely, Keith. Yeah, I look forward to hearing your post-game interview with him because, wow, how about that? This young man's got a bright future ahead of him. But as you mentioned earlier, the Bulldogs, nothing to turn their heads about. They really came out here in the second half and put it to the Huskies. They actually got into a position to where, briefly here at the end, they could have won this game.
No, it's amazing to me just how many opportunities have been lost by this Turlock team. That's not saying they haven't played their hearts out. They have, the way they battled tonight to the bitter end, there should be no head hanging. They fought back. They were down 3 possessions, especially Jonah Kozakowicz and Curtis, who all night have made plays to keep them in it. It's just one of those nights where a couple plays don't bounce your way here or there, and that's all the difference.
That's definitely what happened here in this one. Still all 3 timeouts. Another attempted an onside kick, and they had a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty on the touchdown, and then the chip shot on the kickoff, and all of a sudden they're on the 38-yard line. See, head scratcher there, because now what you could do is in a couple plays go down the field, get in the end zone in 20 seconds. Still have all 3 timeouts, and you'd be in the same position you were just in.
No, you're right, Patch. They still can get the ball in the end zone here, and they can still kick it off again and try their luck again.
The field position is just a striker, like another 38-yard line. You can get in the end zone there in one play. So let's see what they do. They obviously have to get the ball down the field here, but that field position is just odd. That is not going to help. Oh, he breaks the tackle, gets off to the outside. He needs to get out of bounds or get the first down. He hurdles somebody. First down, still going. My, Curtis. So we've seen him do this all game long. Him and Smith, between Curtis and Smith, I can't tell who's more impressive tonight.
And that was huge, Patch, because not only did Curtis's ability to cut back and get extra yards help get Turlock down there a little more, but it also stopped the clock at 1:09 with the first down. The clock automatically stops.
All the way down to the 20. Give him 18 yards on that, which looked like maybe a 5-yard gain. They've got a chance here because of that field position, Keith. There it is, first down, inside the red zone, inside the 5, flies to the end zone, sticks the ball out. I think he might be in. We don't have a signal. He sure looked like he stuck the ball over the plane there. Neither official has given us a signal. Unfortunately, that's high school football for you.
And it's Sherwood again, fighting for the extra yard.
Had himself a game, Sherwood. I love what I see over there. Inside the 5, to the 2, to the 3. That's a touchdown, folks. They're not going to give it to him. I guess they're going to say he stepped on the sideline before he jumped to extend. But see, Keith, this is what I just said. It's only been 20 seconds, and they're about to score a touchdown. You know, probably not going to matter, I guess, but there's still some crazy stuff that could happen in the last 30 seconds.
Well, they're going to have to onside kick it.
Yes.
To start the kickoff. That's if they get this ball in the
But
end
at a
zone.
high school level, is that even a thing? Onside kick? I don't ever recall seeing one completed.
People have tried it, and the percentages, I'm not going to say they're not impossible, but there is a chance. But first things first, get this ball in the end zone as soon as possible. Then you can worry about the onside kick or however you want to approach the kickoff.
Well, they got all 3 timeouts still, so let's say you do kick it deep. You stop them 3 plays in a row, timeout, timeout, timeout. No time goes off the clock. But you're right, they probably will onside kick for sure. Run up the middle, and he's going to get in. And see, that was a dangerous play because if you don't get the touchdown there, you're going to have to call a timeout, Keith.
Okay, so now you've got the touchdown.
There's time.
Now this is
that
key.
took 34 seconds to score that touchdown, Keith. Minute 26 to 48 seconds. Or what is that, 38 seconds. Pardon my math skills. 38 seconds it took them to get into the end zone there. The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the touchdown is huge, and the coach, I'm sure, is not going to be happy about that. You think that they just really iced the game completely with that kick return, and now all of a sudden there's still a little bit more to sweat.
Okay.
Extra point up and good. It's a 6-point game again, Keith.
All right, so you've got the touchdown. You've got what you needed to do. Congratulations. It's a 1-score game again. Now, all the pressure, if you think about it, is on Sheldon. Because it's easy to say, I'm going to grab that football when it comes to me. It's a whole different ball game when I'm in that position. So if I'm on that kicking team, I have to be alert and know where that football is. And if I get an opening, I got to pounce on it. And I got to get to that football right away.
I agree, Keith.
And if I'm Sheldon, I got to be able to grab that ball and hop on it as soon as the kick return given.
Touchdown from Janelle. But as far as the overallness of this game, I think the more impressive note is the 4 rushing touchdowns.
I tell you what, though, this just speaks to the culture that the Sheldon Huskies are building on the football field. For years and years, the story on Sheldon football had been they're not there yet. They're still going through this and that. They got a coach. They've got players now in this system, and they've got a bright future.
Definitely. It's going to be a good finish to their season. A pitch here. Going to be a holding penalty, so all this extra is for naught. He's still going here. Still going. Oh, he's up the sideline. That might be a touchdown. How does he break out of that, Keith? How does he break out of that?
There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, I know, but how many touchdowns are we going to see in the final 2 minutes of this game, Keith?
I don't know.
Wow.
I just know this is an insane ending.
Yeah, that's going to be a holding penalty. I saw it. But also, I want to see a replay of this because it looked like he was stopped pretty well here around the 45-yard line, and all of a sudden he just somehow squeezes out of 1, 2, 3. Oh, he pitched it again. There was another pitch. That's what happened. You see that? How about that? He pitched it a second time as he was being held, and that's what leads to the touchdown. And that guy barely made it to the end zone. I think that was one of the more entertaining things I've seen tonight there, Keith. Cameron Sherwood for the Turlock team was so worn out from that play that he could barely run through the end zone there.
Well, it was a great effort by Sherwood, no doubt. I just think the effort tonight from both sides has been great. Someone had to come out on the losing side, but it just speaks to the program that Sheldon football is building. The basketball team's been amazing for years and years, and now they've got this football team 3-1 in the Delta, and I gotta be honest, Patch, they came out in week 1, top 10 ranking, Sheldon High School, all the hype. They got the doors blown off by Monterey Trails, and how they've responded the last 3 weeks. That's what great teams do.
Was that a home game, Keith? First Monterey, or no?
You know, I'm not sure. I have to check that back again, but I do know it could have been very well a neutral game.
Yeah.
The 2 schools live down the door from each other, but.
So that will be a holding penalty there, Keith. They're going to nix that touchdown, which was a really nice one. Unfortunately, I kind of like to see them finish with the touchdown. Our final play of the game here, Cozy Cowit's going to do the Hail Mary. Throws it up deep. Ball is Intercepted. No, incomplete. Ball's going to land incomplete. And that's going to be your ball game. Final score 41-28. Sheldon Huskies, the home team, coming out on top here. After a 21-0 halftime lead, though, this game was a lot closer than it seemed.
Tyrell Smith. You talk about the running game today that Tyrell Smith had. Give credit to his offensive line because they won the battle in the trenches all night. And then Francisco Salinas with the cannon, when he needed it most, he got it in there, and it was ball game from there. But Sheldon High School now 3-1. Turlock 2-2, obviously a stinging loss for them, but they played great in the second half. It's just when you are putting yourself in a 21-0 hole, it makes it very, very hard to come out of there and tie the game, let alone win it. And they tried their best. It's just tonight when they needed the big play, Sheldon got it.
Yeah, Keith, I don't think they could have done any more in the second half could the Bulldogs have done. However, a key part of this game to me was after the Bulldogs put up those 14 points, 3 drives in a row, the Huskies held them on 3 and out on 4 downs in territory. One of them was in the red zone. It was just a 7-point game, and the Bulldogs had their chance to tie down on the 10-yard line. Huskies held them right there, and they held them 2 more times. And you know what? Those drives were very, very key in the end result of this game, not being able to get in at that point in time. Final score, 4 rushing touchdowns from Tyrell Smith and 1 kick return touchdown for 102 yards. 41-28 the final. We're going to take a quick break here and come back with our post-game interview and our post-game wrap here on NorCal Sports TV. Welcome back here after a quick break. 41-28 final. Keith, tell us a little bit about your pregame expectations and how Sheldon was able to come out and complete it today.
Well, Sheldon does what they do, which is they love to run the football. Joe Catalico, obviously his mindset is get the lead early, and then we'll put it away with our offense. And from the get-go, they were up 21-0. The offensive line won the battle of the trenches continuously the whole night. And the big winner was Tyrell Smith, who put on a show tonight. The kickoff return late that really iced the game for Sheldon. But they won the game up front. It's the offensive line. And then it was Francisco Salinas, who did not have his best passing performance. He threw for almost 2,000 yards last season. Tonight, he gets 1 touchdown. He could have had 2 or 3 if the ball bounced the right way or if the ball was on the right spot, certain situations. He finds Janelle in the end zone. So those were some big plays for Sheldon. On the other side, Turlock, they get in that 21-0 hole and give it up to their offense because they were really able to try and fight their way back, which they did. It was without saying that Kozakowicz had a really great game. Curtis had a really great game. But in the end, it was too little too late. They put themselves in that hole early, and they couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, Keith, very well said. My pregame expectations coming into this game was for, first and foremost, this to be a high-scoring game. I fully expected it. As you see on the scoreboard, 41-28, I was right. That being said, my next expectation coming into this game was that it would be a close-fought battle. And in the first half, it was proved me wrong, Keith. We saw at halftime, we were speaking to each other. We said a few things in the first half, what we felt like Turlock needed to do to come back into this game. You mentioned the second half they needed to come out strong and score a touchdown on their opening drive. They did that. They got the turnover on the very next play on the kickoff and scored another touchdown. Within 2 minutes, they had 2 touchdowns. So after that point, this game was a close battle all the way through up until the final seconds. This last couple of minutes, you couldn't have asked for much more excitement. We saw 3 touchdowns and 1 that was called back. We saw a 102-yard kickoff return. You couldn't have asked for much more in a non-conference game, Keith. This had the feel of an opening night conference game or even a playoff game.
No, yeah, and so for Sheldon and Turlock, it's going to be two different roads. But for Sheldon, they are already behind the 8 ball. They lost to Monterey Trail. They were 6-1 in the Delta last year. They're already 0-1 in the Delta. So it was important for Catalico and his team. Listen, we came out in week 1, all the hype, all the press clippings. We didn't play our best. And these last 3 weeks, they've really won some close games, and they've really won some games that they needed to win. So now you're going into the middle of the season. It is transparent for Sheldon and Turlock, too, who will now be 500. You can't lose focus. And for Sheldon, they know what they're up against. But I think if they get another crack at the playoffs, they'll go far. But for Joe Catalico, 8 wins in 2016, 9 in 2017. This is the year for Sheldon. They want to break through. The basketball team has been great for years and years. Now with football, you're 3-1. And you got all the momentum going for you.
Yeah, Keith, you know what? I would not be surprised to see these two teams face up in a playoff game later on down the season. Non-conference games, so Turlock doesn't have to hold their heads being 2-2. Yeah, that might hurt their ranking a bit. That might hurt their opportunity as far as seeding goes later in the season. But the conference games are what really matters. So finish this game off, 41-28 final here at Sheldon Pleasant Grove Community Stadium here on NorCal Sports TV. We thank you guys for tuning in at home. Hope you're all having a wonderful Friday night. Hope you guys enjoyed our broadcast. I'm Dustin Paget here for my color commentator, Keith Joganatis, for Dion I, and for our cameraman, Joseph and Luis. Without them, we couldn't have made this happen. We appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll be back again soon here for another broadcast on NorCal Sports TV.